Bob and see if we can get the answer. Hey, Bob, good morning.
I was scared because Dracula.
Of course you were.
Dracula's scary.
All right, Bob, do me a favor and tell me Harry Potter's middle name.
What is
Say it again, please. You were breaking up.
James?
James. That's correct. This is Dad's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Bob, hang on the line. We are going to set you, sir, up with a $150 Fogo Show gift card. Fogo is a culinary experience and the best place to discover new favorites like their new bone-in ribeye and bone-in double-cut pork chop. As part of the full Trasco experience, and you can make a reservation for Center City or King of Prussia at Fogo.com. Got a lot to get to, and obviously the biggest thing is Johnny Depp took it all. Johnny Depp has won the defamation case against Amber Heard.
It's pretty amazing.
After deliberating for 13 hours, the jury found that Heard defamed Depp in 3 separate statements in the Washington Post piece, and that Depp defamed Heard with one statement his attorney made. So it's a little bit of back and forth. I said Johnny took it all, but nonetheless, there was a little bit of back and forth.
So she had the countersuit, which was,
Yes.
I think, more, as you said, against what her lawyer had intimated.
Yep. So Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. And the Fairfax County Circuit Court Judge, Penny Azcarate, reduced the punitive damages to $350,000, which is the state's statutory cap or legal limit, making his total damages $10.4 million. And we have the judge announcing the damages. We'll start because there were like I said, it was on both ways. Heard's countersuit, the jury awarded her $2 million in compensatory damages. So here's the go to the other one. Depp's damages. We'll do that first. Here we go.
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Okay, so those were Heard's damages. And then we'll go to Johnny's damages, the announcement.
Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
So who's going to end up getting what? I don't really know yet. As Entertainment Weekly reports, the Aquaman actress is planning to appeal the verdict. So it's not over.
No.
There's still more to go.
No.
Heard released a statement yesterday calling the jury's decision a setback for other women and added, "The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband." Johnny, on the other hand, took to Instagram to thank the jury for giving him his life back and wrote, "From the very beginning, the goal of bringing the case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me, and I feel at peace knowing that I have finally accomplished that."
So it was a unanimous jury decision, and people who watch these sort of things say this will actually bode well for him, that this will help him get more work, and this gives sort of Hollywood an out to go, there you go. See, that's what the court found.
Well, so here's their prospects are uncertain. AP reported, citing legal and entertainment experts who said that both had their reputations damaged.
That's for sure.
By what came out during the televised trial. Former entertainment lawyer Matthew Belloni. Baloney?
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Belloni.
The court doesn't stand for
You won't
baloney.
stand for that. Please rise for baloney.
So Matt Belloni. Hi, name's Matt Belloni.
Don't worry, it could be liverwurst.
Matt Belloni, who writes about the business of Hollywood, told AP, "Both of them will work again, but I think that it will be a while before a major studio will consider them safe enough to bet on."
Well, they have to get past all this crap.
Well, they got to make sure that they're not going to communicate at all.
Right.
And there's going to be nothing between the two of them.
Stop it.
So he said the personal baggage that was revealed in this trial was just too icky for a studio to want to deal with.
Stop using legal terms.
Meanwhile, LA crisis management and communications expert Eric Rose called the trial a classic murder-suicide, explaining from a reputation management perspective, there can be no winners. They've bloodied each other up. It becomes more difficult now for studios to hire either actor because you're potentially alienating a large segment of your audience who may not like the fact that you have retained either Johnny or Amber for a specific project because feelings are so strong now.
Do you know what's the most troubling takeaway from this whole trial for me was seeing how many rings Johnny Depp wears?
Dude, okay, thank you for mentioning that because I saw a picture of him today, and with all the rings and with the tattoos on his hands and stuff, to me, it just looks like dirty hands.
It looks dirty.
It does. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It looks like it's
100%.
filthy.
Yeah.
The tattoos have worn, and also his fingers don't ever touch each other.
Yeah, because they're separated.
They're separated by
he wears
huge honking
big
rings, like graduation rings.
Yeah, like Super Bowl rings.
Bowl rings.
So it looks gross to me.
Yeah, it was like that manicure that Kathy got when she said, "Hey, give me the diesel me."
The oil change manicure.
Yeah. Yes. It looks like he's got stuff grime under his fingers all the time.
Not good.
Yeah, get that man some pumice. Clean those things up. Yeah. But anyway, we'll have more to say about this. In the meantime, another thing going on. Jada Pinkett Smith used the latest episode of her Facebook Watch show Red Table Talk to address the Oscars slap, expressing hope that her husband Will Smith and comedian Chris Rock will, quote, talk this out and reconcile. The comments came during an episode focused on alopecia. After Rock had compared Jada to Demi Moore in the film, we all know the story that Smith walked up and slapped her, right? All right, or slapped him. He slapped her. Slapped his own wife.
Bitch, I'm trying to hear Chris Rock. Shut up.
That would have been a different story.
Wow.
Yakety yappy bitch. Rock's on stage. I'm trying to hear his joke.
So I was wrong about that.
Shut up, woman.
She said, this is a really important Red Table Talk on alopecia. At the beginning of the episode, she said, considering what I've been through with my own health and what happened at the Oscars, thousands have reached out to me with their stories, and I'm using this moment to give our alopecia family an opportunity to talk about what it's like to have this condition and to inform people about what alopecia actually is. So she went on to address the elephant in the room, expressing her desire to see her husband and Chris Rock reconcile. And this is the first time she's actually said anything about it.
Directly about it.
So she said, now about Oscar night. All right, we have
the
clip
clip.
of that.
Yep.
So here we go. Let's get that.
Now, about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years. And that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. So clearly she wrote that down and she was reading that. But,
Making the statement. Got it.
So many expected that they would use the Red Table Talk to address the slap, but Wednesday's comments are the most substantial discussion about it on the show thus far, and did not include Will, and Chris Rock is not really, he's just lightly touched on it.
If they want to bat that thing out of the park, work a deal to get both Will Smith and Chris Rock at that table.
Oh, yeah.
And that show,
Are you
forget
kidding
it.
me? Yeah. But I don't
crazy.
Think, I don't know if Chris would want to go on her show. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, he wants to have a lot of that heat for himself.
Yeah. All right. Kim Kardashian is finally letting fans in on the story behind her and Pete Davidson's romance, how they got together in the first place.
This story is just fascinating.
During Thursday's episode of The Kardashians, Kim opened up about her relationship with him, calling him the best human being I've ever met.
Wow.
Is that right? Is that a fact? Is Pete Davidson the best human being you've ever met?
As far as her brain has figured out, I guess so.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta be careful, 'cause
Preston, that's well said.
What's
you
that?
do have children. You have children.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So,
That might be a hyperbolic statement, Case.
yeah,
All right.
I mean, you have children and blood relatives. So,
Her dad.
Yeah, her dad, but more so, okay, your kids are pretty innocent at this point, and they're probably at this point in their lives the best overall human beings that they've ever met. I don't know, but I just want to point out that we are now in June of 2022, and I called June of 2022.
That was your
Casey, you had the latest date. You had the latest date of June 1st as to when
they'd break up.
Pete and Kim would break up. Preston, you had the vernal equinox. Kathy was May 15. Marissa and I lost a long time ago. Steve, you had it in January. And they're still going strong. I think we all lost.
Yeah.
Well,
but in a way, we all lost with just their union.
We did. But I think, I don't think I was saying that they would break up till June. In June, I said they would make it to June.
Okay.
So
you're still in the running? Well,
I feel like I'm still in the running.
We can review the tape and see what was actually, said.
As a winner, you should work from home today.
Yeah.
You know what? Cool.
All right. So she was first inspired to share more about her relationship after being asked about her dating life when chatting in the kitchen with Chloe and Courtney. And she said, "Can a girl just be happy and live?"
Can she?
In a confessional, though. So I guess they do that on the show where they go just
They
for the
actually have a
camera.
confessional in the kitchen, Preston. They get in, they kneel, and then Caitlyn Jenner's on the other side.
Oh, really?
So what are your sins?
Yeah. How long since your last confession?
Why do you cut cucumbers like that?
So in the confessional, Kim finally addressed the romance and revealed who made the first move in this situation. She said, so this is how it went down with Pete. She said, I did SNL, and then when we kissed in a scene, it was just a vibe, she said. And I was like, maybe I just need to try something different. But Pete does not come to my after party. Everyone was at my after party. He does not even give me the time of day. So a few days later, I called the producer at SNL and was like, hey, do you have Pete's number? And they were like, yeah. And she says, and she says, I text him. Now, here's what gets worse. She says, I text him. I wasn't even thinking like, oh my God, I'm just going to be in a relationship with him. I was thinking, quote, heard about this BDE.
You know what that is, Kathy?
I know what that is.
Yeah.
Big D energy, right?
Yeah, big D energy. Need to get out there. I need to just jumpstart and then she trailed off. And then she admitted to the cameras, I was just basically DTF.
Okay.
Down to F, Kathy.
Yes. Speaking to her sisters, Kim noted how people often
pointing it out to me.
LOL. Laughing out loud.
And listen, she had to have told him she was going to do this on the show and talk about his penis. You know what I mean? And of course.
Yeah, of course.
So speaking to her sisters, she noted how people often believe that dating Pete must be, quote, a hysterical comedy show all the time. And she says their relationship is, quote, just normal.
It's just normal. They're just regular. They're just like us.
She said, I never knew you could just be so happy watching TV series and going to the gym with someone I thought I had never, ever gone to the gym before.
Yeah.
And she said, Pete has got to be literally the best human being I've ever met, like the best heart.
Literally.
People always say, oh, he's so funny. That's like fourth on my list of why I like him.
The big D is number one.
Yes.
I already said number one.
Yeah, number one.
Big D. In fact, 1 through 3, Big D.
Yeah.
She said, always wants the best for people, can handle anything, always does it with grace. He's really, really thoughtful and humble and just so genuine. I would say the perfect word to describe Pete is genuine.
And
and when they're fighting in court and bad talking each other to the press, we'll see.
The chit chat amongst women about guys that are well hung, does that create excitement? Do you know, Kathy? I mean,
excitement, like for
as
a woman?
in maybe. I didn't think about that guy, but now I heard he's got a big penis. I might be kind of interested.
Think of it a different way.
Does it really work that way? Because
I don't know.
Sometimes.
No, I don't. Not for. No, I don't. I mean, not for us. Not for me
Marissa?
and my girlfriends. I don't think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, like that Nick Foles energy. I mean, we all.
That was the first guy I was thinking
amongst my group. I mean, we have koozies that say like BD.
I think, I think guys think about it almost as much as women do, just because you start hearing the rumors and like you start hearing that about Pete Davidson.
But
and you're
wait,
like,
listen, and think like, I would like to be with him.
No. You just know that about the guy, and it might be the first thing, like John Hamm and Nick Foles, and there was somebody else who came to mind, and I was like, you start hearing that about the person, and you're like, all right, I'm going to identify him that way.
For me, it's a turnoff because it hurts.
Right.
It hurts, right? It hurts so much.
Hey, Steve, don't knock until you try it.
There you go.
I don't know. I never really, even though Nick, the John Hamm thing, like I know some people go right to that. I don't really.
Not for you?
No, it's not for me. I don't really think about it.
I like a guy who can design socks.
There
That's
you
where
go.
I stand.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Rob Kardashian.
Yeah.
Alicia Witt is opening up about her private battle with cancer 2 months after completing chemotherapy. So she's been quiet about this. This has been a secret.
She's had a tough freaking life.
She has, yes. On Wednesday, the 46-year-old actress shared videos of the moment she struck a gong in celebration of the end of her treatment, as well as a photo of her holding her official certificate. And she also posted a selfie and images in which she removed her head and chest coverings.
Wow.
She said, just a little over 2 months ago, I had my last round of chemotherapy prior to my mastectomy, sending love to her beloved, brilliant, collaborative, communicative doctor. She added that the Tennessee oncology physician was there to see her ring the bell.
What did her parents?
Yeah, so they died, and this all, she kept this news private.
Yeah.
Because she had found out about her diagnosis like right about the same time, or this was about the time she was beginning her treatments when her parents died. And was it carbon monoxide poisoning?
I think
forgot.
it was. Yeah, something like that.
Their house, they were kind of hoarders, or they had a really strange situation.
And she kept trying to intercede to help them, and they got they're smart people, and they just kind of were feeding into each other's paranoia, and then they died.
Or no, I'm sorry. They froze to death, wasn't it? Like they didn't have
something
heat.
that should not have happened.
It was like some repair work. Maybe
Yeah.
you could look that up. I think it was. I think they didn't have heat.
Yeah.
And they could have easily gotten it taken care of, and they didn't, and they neglected. Was that it, Case?
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like they didn't have the means to do it. They just didn't do it.
Their death was revealed as a probable cardiac dysrhythmia due to the cold on their property, improperly heated home, which was sorely neglected.
Yeah, terrible. So she had this going on.
She got the breast cancer diagnosis at about that time.
Around that time, she had started treatments, and so it was just, man, she's been through a lot.
I don't mean
like
to be
her a lot.
I do too, Steve. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insensitive. Why do you need to wear that helmet?
Okay, so she does talk about that. She said, I'm so grateful to those along the way during my treatment who honored me by protecting my privacy during these months, and grateful to help share that these caps that she was wearing in that, Nick, can truly play a huge role in allowing a patient to reveal her journey on her own time when she was ready.
Gotcha.
So it has something to do with her hair, her not losing her hair.
There is there's a system of icing where you place a frozen pack on your head, like very cold.
Yeah.
And that apparently accelerates the regrowth of hair.
So this was, it was not her being afraid of her hair falling out. She just wanted to keep it quiet.
Right.
And therefore, that's why she had to do this. So there's a picture of her wearing this blue cap on her head, and that's what that was about. So happy that she's done with her treatments, and things are looking positive for her. Ray Liotta's hometown is reportedly considering naming a baseball field in his honor. According to TMZ, the city of Union Township, New Jersey, might be naming the field on which youth athletes regularly play as a nod to the late actor's role in Field of Dreams.
This is great role for him.
Of course, in that movie, the baseball player he played baseball player Shoeless Joe Jackson, whose ghost visits Ray Kinsella.
They should have had him curse like Henry Hill, though.
That would have been great. Yeah, to make it a little bit more him. So, according to the mayor, Manuel Figueiredo, he said at this time, the township of Union is exploring various options on how best to honor and remember Ray Liotta. We are allowing the family and loved ones time to grieve and process his untimely death before we make any definitive situation.
What about a 900-foot Ray Liotta?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Right? I mean, they did that for Jesus, and I'm not likening Ray Liotta to Jesus, but I think if you really want to put up something that also that people can visit, a Ray Liotta, a 900-foot Ray Liotta you can walk up into.
Let's not discount that. I mean, maybe it's something they're considering.
I love Field of Dreams. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I didn't know until last week when he passed that, and Kevin Costner posted this, that there's a scene where Kevin Costner is pitching to Shoeless Joe at the plate, and Kevin says, his guy Ray Kinsella says, "Can you hit my curve?" And he throws a pitch, and Shoeless Joe Jackson, Ray Liotta, lines it right up the middle, knocks Kevin on his ass. That was not rehearsed. That was not planned. He just knocked him right over, and it was just Ray Liotta hitting the ball as hard as he possibly could, and it made Kevin Costner fall down, but none of that was in the script. It was completely unscripted.
That's cool.
Kidding.
Yeah.
And isn't there a scene where Ray Liotta has Kevin Costner's wife, Amy Madigan, in the trunk of a car, and they drive out to a remote location, and he carves her up?
I think that's 7.
Oh, okay. God, I just get those confused.
All right. We are now ready for clips, gang, so let's get to those. We're going to start with Makeup Monroe stars in the new horror thriller Watcher. And in this clip, Mecca explains why she enjoys working on indie film projects.
The way for me to keep falling in love with this form of art is working with people that really inspire me and being a part of the process. And the indie film world, I don't know, I'm just so drawn to it, and it pushes me and challenges me in ways. And so yeah, it's very fulfilling.
I don't think I want to see it.
Watcher is in theaters tomorrow. All right.
It's one of my favorite
I love
clips.
that clip of Michael
Jackson.
All right, next clip. Here we go. Two misfits find themselves in a battle for life and love in Frank and Penelope. And here, Sydney Scotia reveals a unique aspect of the movie that the cast discovered after filming. Here we go.
This wasn't something I noticed initially, but after we finished the film, I got together with the cast a couple weeks ago because we're all good buddies. Yep. And we were talking about how it is a genre-bending film. And we felt that, there's romance in there, there's suspense, there's thriller, there's horror. And we realized after the fact that it is such a genre-bending film, and that's what I love so much about it.
I don't think I want to see it.
Frank and Penelope is in theaters tomorrow, by the way. And there you go. That's the entertainment report for this Thursday morning on the Preston and Steve Show. All right, we got some stuff coming up, gang. We got an announcement about an event that's on the way. We're excited for it, and hopefully you will be as well. So we'll get that info out to you. Also, a reminder, we chose another high school for Coolest Teacher of the Year. PJP in Rofo. So that's, for those of you who don't speak that language, Pope John Paul High School in Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
We give you till tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. to let us know who you think should be the winner. That's Rofo. They're setting off the alarm as we speak.
There you go.
The coveted Coolest Teacher of the Year coffee mug from the Preston and Steve Show and Coolest Teacher of the Year t-shirt. So
excellent.
Do that now. Text the word teacher to 39333 if you go to PJP, and we'll find out who that recipient is tomorrow. We're going to take a break. Be back in a moment. Stay with us. Their stunning elegance, but some are wagging their fingers at the Duchess of Sussex for the skirt that she chose to wear on the final day of her royal tour of New Zealand, Fiji, and so on.
It was a full cooter shot.
Well,
it was up above her waist.
No, it wasn't. She paired a stunning royal blue Givenchy sweater with a sheer blue pleated skirt. So there was some see-through to it.
Well, you know what? She has.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I see it. But she has had a higher than they usually like the skirts worn with members of the royal family, but nothing outlandish. Whenever she's out, but she still looks elegant.
You can see the shape of her panties.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little
Does
sheer.
it matter that there are sexy photos of her on the internet to the royal family, do you think? Because, when she did Suits and she did some modeling
There's a whole
stuff,
bunch of it.
Yeah.
And Nick, she had actually just done one prior to this whole...
To meeting Prince Harry.
Yes, and it's excellent.
And the whole family received a portfolio of all of this stuff and said, here's what we're dealing with.
She's a beautiful woman.
If you need me, I'm going to be reviewing these photographs in my chamber.
How long is that going to take?
Wappa. Fwap.
That's it.
The fappening.
Wappa.
By the
That's the
way,
royal family version of fap.
why does this all have to rest on her shoulders? Like, why doesn't she have people looking at her going, yo, dude, I can see your panties?
But she makes the final choice.
Yo, dude, I can see your panties.
By the way, Shake Shack,
Yep.
love their burgers, but I might as well eat them while I'm sitting on the toilet because that's how quickly they go through me.
Just for some particular reason?
Yeah.
Do you get the special sauce?
Dude, so...
He makes the special sauce.
I literally ate it one time, and I was driving home. I ate it by Helium. There's one right there.
Oh, no.
And I ate it.
Oh, no.
And I had to race. Oh, my God. I'm trying to get home. I was trying to get home.
Yeah.
And it was late. It was probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I can make it.
And by the time I got to about Route 1 on 76, I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it. So let me get to the radio station. Quick.
Oh.
Stat, right?
Yeah.
Got to the radio station. Couldn't make it to the fourth floor. I had to dump by outside next to the...
Dude, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you take a dump?
You crapped outside of the building?
I had to.
How long ago was this?
This morning.
God.
Kathy,
I
it was either that or in my pants. What do I do?
Sometimes I don't know.
Right? So I had to do it next to the. So
couldn't you at least pick a competing station?
Yeah. Well, no.
I mean, and also like just so open to tell the story. It's amazing.
Oh, not right away. I had to wait a couple of years before the security footage was deleted. You know?
Case, more FM's right over there.
Right.
Well,
Q102 is right down the street.
Q102 is down the street. Crap there.
Oh my God.
The story does get a little bit better.
That's funny.
How?
How could it?
Ow.
But could you have imagined had he been stopped at another radio station simply because it was an emergency?
Yes.
Right.
Local broadcaster in a clear attempt.
Like a superintendent of a school.
Right, exactly.
Right?
He would have been raised to heroic levels here.
Now, how does the story get better?
Oh, man. I think I'm just going to end it there.
No. You started down the path.
Just say it quietly so we can't hear it.
I'll just whisper it.
They're not listening.
Yeah.
So I had to
smeared it on someone's car.
I had to leave it there in the grass.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it with me.
Right.
Oh, you didn't want to take it with you?
No. I couldn't. So what
You
ended
take
up.
your dog for a walk.
So.
I left it there.
All right, so a little bit did end up in my underpants. So I had
that was just like a bingo.
So I had to luckily I had nobody can hear this, right?
Right, no, we're good.
So luckily I had all these T-shirts in the back of my car.
Did you fashion in makeshift underwear?
I literally wore a pink T-shirt as underwear on the drive home. Oh no, it gets better. Okay, so then I'm on my way home and I'm thinking, there is like T-shirts and poop and all this stuff next to the building. All right, so I can't. Like if security goes and they see that on Monday, they're gonna go, well, who pooped here?
And look at security.
And they're gonna look at security and they're gonna see me like all ashamed, crouching next to my car. So on Monday, I came back to work with a giant trash bag and I had to like collect it all.
Oh my God.
And then throw it in the dumpster.
So he cleaned his spot.
Yeah, I cleaned my spot.
hate you.
I hate me too, Kathy. When I got home,
And this was all because of what?
freaking Shake Shack.
Oh, Shake Shack.
No, not Five Guys. Don't you?
They're
talk bad about-
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Where in the building was it?
On the over
By
at
the loading docks. Where you unloaded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to go. What's that?
Why didn't you come inside?
He couldn't get
I
in.
couldn't make it. I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I do. Believe me. I'm not.
don't.
This is not a proud moment here, Kathy.
Yeah.
Though you would assume it could have been a proud moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you came back. And, that's noble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily noble. It was self-preservation.
The last thing you wanted is that footage to end up. But what's worse, the footage of you doing it or the footage of you collecting it back up in the bag?
They watched both and they were like, okay, well, he came back and cleaned.
You know, we'll erase this.
All right, so you should eat your hamburger upside down.
on the toilet.
That's what we got.
That's all. That's all I noticed. I didn't. There's
notice.
That's it. I can't top that.
No, it ends there.
I will not be able
like
to.
a derailing train.
Right.
So nobody heard that, right?
Nobody heard that. People magazine is named its 2018 sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
And it is Idris Elba.
Oh, Kathy?
The British actor says the honor has given him a boost of self-confidence.
What do you think? Are you an Idris Elba fan?
Pull up a picture.
Okay. You don't remember?
You don't know what he looks like?
No, I do, but like, let me just look at.
Let her drink him in.
I don't like. Is that the picture they use?
Let her take a sip of that chocolate.
Yeah,
milk.
that's from people.com.
I don't love the picture that they use. I wish they used a different picture, but yeah, no, he's good looking for sure.
He was surprised after being crowned this year's winner. I was like, come on, no way, really? He told the magazine.
You guys.
He said, look. Here, there's the cover picture.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like Lovey.
Well, like Lovey from Gilligan's Island?
No, like not where you would look at some of them and be like, oh my God, he's so hot. Like this guy's like, he probably would give you a good hug.
Part of it is his voice and his demeanor. He is planning a wedding with his fiancee Sabrina Dahor. No.
Yeah, well, I don't
Sabrina
know.
Dahor?
Dower.
Dahore?
Dahore.
Oh, you mean Dahor?
Dahor. It's all the same letters.
Who are you marrying? Sabrina. Oh, Dahor?
Dhowre.
No, not Dahor.
If you move the W to the beginning or in between the D and H, it looks like Dahor.
No, it's Dahor.
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 Dahore. Anyhow, the actor has
I'm not marrying a whore.
16-year-old daughter named Isan and a 4-year-old son named Winston. What a great name.
Yeah, I almost
like
named my
that.
dog Winston.
From previous
him know.
relationships. Elba told people about his upbringing.
Yes, Idris. My name is Casey. I produce a show in the States. I almost named my dog Winston.
When you said let him know, I thought you were talking about let my dog know.
I did too. Come here, buddy.
Come here.
You were almost
Listen,
Winston.
Reggie, I almost named
Dog, I don't understand what you're saying.
We began Wigapalooza.
I'm very excited.
If you just tuned in, we talked about this a while back. What would Steve look like with a head of realistic human hair and not goofy looking wigs? Actual hair. We want to see what Steve would look like with a realistic looking hairstyle.
These wigs are usually fitted to people's heads, so Steve's got a bigger head. I actually thought his head was a little bit smaller than that.
Should we bring him in?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
let's have Steve come in and see what the actual. Wow! Dude,
Oh my God.
You haven't seen
You
it?
haven't? Kathy's got to have a mirror.
Get the big mirror from the office.
Steve, you look better bald, man.
Casey, that does look good. You fixed the sides.
Yeah.
Do you know whose hair I immediately think of for some reason? Because he looks like Danny Briere's hair for some reason.
Wow,
Am I not wrong about that?
That's
Danny
absolutely right.
Briere,
Dude,
formerly of the Flyers.
No,
What? Who are you thinking of? Here, move your microphone over, Steve. So I can.
from bachelor party and
Adrian
Zmed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, how
It's
come
the
there no sideburn?
profile that I love.
I guess you have to. Well, I look like a '60s pop star. Hey, everybody!
Yeah. All right. Anyhow.
This is one that's for the ladies.
Yeah.
It's what you call a panty dropper in the biz.
Yeah, Steve. We need a voice with that
That's right,
wig.
yeah.
What is that? The voice?
I need
you
it.
think,
Yeah,
or-
I think that's kind of the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
or kind of the voice.
The back looks good too, like
Does
the
the back look
neckline.
good?
Yeah, the neckline.
Yeah. The back looks real.
Am I making you wet, baby?
Looks totally real. Somebody says you look like Paul McCartney. Yeah.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says Phil Mickelson or Ralph Macchio.
Well, a little Ralph Macchio.
A little bit.
The Karate Kid on Hard Times.
And by the way, you'll need.
Hey, Mr. Miyagi, how are you?
You'll need.
What the hell happened?
There you go. Yes, Steve's doing the dance moves. And we'll put.
I could walk you home.
Makes me feel fine.
Oh, Steve. The hair. Oh my God.
Summer breeze
Nice.
makes me feel fine.
Oh, you've got to watch the webcam. Steve is singing directly to you.
I thought that was beautiful, actually. I have to go pleasure myself.
Hi,
I'm
Bria.
so turned on.
All right, well, let's bring him in and see what we have next. Let's have Steve. He's been out of the studio when he gets. Okay. The color is better on this.
Yes.
I think you like.
I like the dark.
Hey, I'll help.
You look like a stock boy a little
Right,
bit.
yeah. I'll get that for you, Mr. Jones. What do you want me to do with the canoe?
Just put it in the back. Put it in the back.
I'll move that around for you, Mr. Jones. Hey, can I take lunch now?
Every wig has to have a voice.
Right, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Wow.
My name's Toby. This is a Toby, right?
Yeah, that's a Toby.
Yeah.
Toby.
Is that
Hi,
what
my
it's
name's
called?
Toby.
Is that what it's called? Seriously?
No. It's the Toby.
Oh, no?
Yeah. It intermatches with the Kunta Kinte.
Well, what was the last one? What should that have been? That was the
That was
Danny?
the Danny or the Ricky.
The Ricky.
I like the Ricky.
That was Ricky. With a song for you.
No, it's
Toby.
Toby. Hey,
Yeah.
Toby.
Hey, you need any yard work? You need to have it done? I'll do it. I'm 17.
Should we do a new wig next?
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
It's
we
the
only have
doctor
an-
wig.
an
We
hour.
only have two more left. Let's bring him in. Let's see Steve's third wig of the morning. Wow, man.
It is the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, and that's
a little bit
real
of gray.
hair. What's that?
A little bit of gray.
Just a little salt and pepper in there.
Yeah.
That looks good.
I think he looks like
I think I'm ready for the boardroom and the bedroom.
I think Richard Gere, maybe.
She said she gave me 3 options: Richard Gere, Regis Philbin, and Eddie Munster.
What?
With the 3 hair.
Well, the one style we had going at first, he looked a little like Eddie Munster.
It's all sewn
Do I
in.
look like in the Cialis commercial? I say the man with the plan.
Yeah. You do look like the man with the plan.
Yeah, putting some more wind in my sails with Cialis.
Oh, is this the voice?
Yeah.
What's
Kids, we're gonna go mountain biking.
Thanks, Catherine, for the coolest teacher from Pope John Paul High School in Royersford. If you go to school there, make sure you text the word teacher to 39333. I'm going to send you the link. That's all you got to do. Just text word teacher to 39333, and then we'll find out tomorrow morning who that is. By the way, if you remind me, at the end of this segment, I think it'd be a good time to make our announcement that we have for an event coming up.
I agree, yeah.
So you got to make sure I do that before we get out
Can
of this.
you give me a little reminder to remind you?
Yeah, I'll remind you to remind me.
Thank you so much.
At the end of this.
You got me.
We'll be good to go.
Text Kathy, and then she'll send a postcard to Marissa.
I was going to text Marissa, but I'll do that.
All right. Well, listen, there's a story that Steve had sent to me a couple of days ago. I didn't get a chance to mention yet, and it's about this woman in New York City. She's 64 years old, and she is known as the tenant from hell and makes her neighbors' lives misery. And she's also run up $40,000 in back rent.
So, like that alone, but she does a whole bunch of other stuff. And whenever you see a story like this, we've all had encounters or know of stories like this. And it's like, what the hell do you do?
I know. So yeah, this woman has she's not paid her rent since April of last year, 2020, or no, 2020. I'm sorry, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So she pays $17.50 a month, and her landlord's name is Matthew Hannon, and says he's at the end. He's trying to evict her, and he can't evict her. So she's done stuff like flooded her apartment. Which destroyed the unit below. She's held an indoor barbecue.
Barbecue.
Trashes her kitchen and hallway. She blares loud music for 20 hours a day and deliberately goes around and rings neighbors' doorbells to frighten them.
What the hell?
And she is accused of threatening her neighbors with a shovel and a fire extinguisher when they tried to stand up to her. The nightmare neighbor has been able to avoid eviction thanks to a COVID relief program aimed at preventing workers who had lost their jobs from being evicted. So she's using that.
Right.
Yeah. On one occasion, the landlord allegedly chased a female tenant, the woman did, chased a female tenant with a shovel during an argument.
Jesus.
And she said, it got to the point, this is according to the woman who was chased, said it got to the point where she was following me to my job site where I was working. She also has hoarded junk in the hallway of their third-floor apartment. And the landlord said he has been left unable to rent the unit below because of the water damage caused after she left her bathtub and sink running until the building looked, quote, like Niagara Falls.
So this is it's like a big home. It doesn't appear to be like an apartment complex sort of thing, right? These are residential renters, landlords?
I don't know.
Yeah, the picture, at least to me, looked like it was a larger home.
There's somebody that lives, there's a unit below. So, I don't know how they've handled this, Steve. I'm not sure if it's a building or what, but several tenants have moved out because of this woman's behavior.
It's just, so that's over the course of years. It used to be like, hey, if you get a place that has an extra, like a mother-in-law, apartment or whatever, you can rent that out, and you get a tenant. You can, like when you're starting out, just get married, you get a house that has that. You can offset some of your mortgage. But the whole notion of being a landlord or trying to manage, another situation like that, I've heard so many nightmare stories. I just don't think I could do it.
There's always, no matter what, if you rent an apartment, there's always somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody in the complex that you hear about is like, that's the crazy neighbor. And they may not go to this extreme of flooding place. Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But in an apartment, you're kind of bound because
by walls.
Your walls are connected to each other, and there's a closer sense of
dread.
Dread, for lack of a better term.
Listen. When we were at Y100, I had this Russian efficiency apartment in media. You guys saw it. It was nothing. I mean, it was a closet. Yeah. And you would hear stuff I mean, in this building, I told you about the guy who lived on the other side of the wall. He loved pennies and would talk loudly about pennies and ask everyone for pennies. Obviously, there was a mental issue there.
Okay.
But I mean, still, you're like, you're everything is adjacent to everyone else. It's a nightmare.
And also, you can do as much research as you want and go check these places out. But until you start
you live
spending
there.
the night there,
That's it.
you don't know what you're getting into.
So, Steve, my aunt in California runs a fairly successful property management company. And,
That's right.
And so what she does is manage a lot of these buildings, these apartment buildings. And I would say, when talking to her, 98, 99% of the tenants are fine and normal. It's that 1% that are ridiculous. And
don't they eat up all the oxygen, basically? Those.
Well, you wouldn't believe the sob stories, and some of them are legit sob stories. Like, you understand how they got in this place in the first place. However, her job is to collect their rent and to make sure that they are responsible tenants. So she has to dance this fine dance and walk the fine line of, like, I got to kick you out because you haven't paid rent in 6 months, or I have to shut your power off. It's one story after another with people like that.
I'm wondering if there are any landlords listening, and I wonder how this goes, that, because obviously if you're behind on your rent, a lot of people choose to avoid their landlord. But what if you come to them and try to bargain? Does that help a little bit? At least with sex, sexual favors, and so on. Or maybe pictures at the very least.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a sack like that?
But I mean, if you try to at least have a dialogue, I'm wondering if that can kind of stem the bleeding for a little bit.
I think it helps to a point, and then eventually the landlord has to be like, okay, we've extended this 6 months. Now it's time for a BJ.
No, you're right.
Oh my God!
honestly, there are obligations. Yes, it to me, that dynamic on both sides, whether you're the person who's renting and you've fallen on hard times and you have a story that's legit, or the other side, to me, it's just a nightmare, both sides.
Both of my brothers own a lot of properties, and they have multi-unit properties where, there's different families in. But what I find amazing is how people can stay there and not pay, and what it takes for the landlord, the person that owns the property, to actually get the tenant out. I mean, what they have to go through to evict a tenant,
right?
And it's unbelievable. They had one, I think it was a multi-unit property, and they kept getting calls, and they're like, you have to go into this house and figure out what's going on there. There's something happening. They had chickens in their basement. It was in Norristown.
Chickens in their
basement. They had all these chickens in their basement. I don't know if they were fighting them or what they were doing, but
they're just in for the weekend.
they were eventually able to get in there, and they were like, look, you got to get, the chickens have to go. You have to get rid of them. And they didn't. And it took them forever to force these people to get the chickens out of the basement.
People that we knew had tenants, and I don't know. Listen, God bless whatever whatever they did in their lives, or whatever their rituals involved, or whatever. Yeah, live and let live. But they had an aquarium where they treated the aquarium like a place to clean dishes.
Oh God! Oh
yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah, and I was like, you've got to be kidding! They had to have someone come in like a biochemical, like a hazmat team come in and clean the place.
Preston, I do know somebody though who they couldn't pay their rent at the time, and so they did go to their landlord and they were like, "Look, we're going to give you what we can now, and we'll get you if if the rent is due the first of the month or whatever it was, they had to pay it throughout the month for a few months until they were able to catch up. It was all due to COVID and stuff like that.
Right.
And I know there were different rules then, but because they went to him and they approached him and they told him, they were able to do it that way. So I guess it depends on the landlord.
What's the landlord's deal? Do they get free room or a free apartment for landlording? What's their deal?
You mean if you're managing a building and you're living in the building? I'm sure that's an arrangement in some cases.
Like an apartment building.
Right.
Yeah. Like a landlord doesn't. Right. They don't own the place, right?
They're a lord.
Yeah. I actually, my first radio job, the guy who owned the radio station, was very, very small town, so it was a very small radio station. Right. This one guy owned it. He also owned a very small apartment complex, probably 10 units.
Right.
And with the job, I had a super duper low salary, but I had free rent.
Ah.
And I lived at this apartment. I'm like, that was a pretty sweet deal to me.
Was it a decent place?
No, it was a piece of crap. It was horrible. It was garbage. Yeah. But I didn't pay for it.
There you go.
And
You
I
saved.
lived there. Yeah.
Casey, you're thinking more of people who are given free rent or a room for like superintending or being the superintendent of a building. But if a landlord lives in their own building for free, then, I mean, you can do that. You're just denying yourself getting more money for renting it out.
Is there a difference between landlord and owner or manager? You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
like Schneider and One Day at a Time.
Well, because sometimes I think of landlord as maybe the person that owns it. You know what I mean?
That's what I think, too, yeah.
So
I don't know, like Mr. Furley. What was Mr. Furley or Mr. Roper?
They were landlords. They owned the building.
Did they own the
Yes.
building?
I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did either.
I thought they owned it.
Maybe it was a condo. Maybe they just
No,
owned the unit.
Ralph, Mr. Furley's brother owned it. Remember Bart?
No.
Furley?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Mr. Furley was just there to run the place and make sure everything was.
We need
Then
to
he would have
find
been
out.
the manager.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen to this text. It says, I once had a landlord who offered to cut the rent for sexual favors.
Wow.
Actually did that, and it was gross. So they never, agreed to that
Sure,
deal.
don't do that.
But, man.
Jesus Christ, Casey was right.
What?
Ralph Furley was the landlord and manager of the Santa Monica apartment building that is now owned by his brother Bart, who acquired it from Stanley Roper.
All right.
I'm impressed, Casey.
So then we need to find out one other thing. Was Stanley Roper the owner of the building?
That's what I just said. Yeah. So he bought it. He acquired it. He acquired it from Stanley Roper.
So when he was living there in the complex and was the landlord.
Now, ask me anything that I probably should have learned in school during those years.
Let me go to. I got some calls. Neighbors from hell and landlords and so on. I'm going to go to Mike. Hey, Mike. Good morning. Mike, you are on the air, sir. Good morning.
Sorry, guys. I got caught up hydrating my boobs.
Oh, you got to do that, or else they get all dry and leathery.
Kathy knows.
Yeah,
What's up, my
they're
man?
starting to chafe a little bit. So when I lived out in Arizona, I had an upstairs neighbor who, first time they flooded my apartment, I'd come home from class on a break, and I noticed it dripping out in the corner. So I go upstairs and like, hey, I don't know where it's coming from, but you guys are leaking to my apartment. And they're like, oh, it's coming from the floor above us, actually. We noticed it a little while ago. We were going to go tell maintenance in a bit. I was like, don't worry about it. I got it. So they just watched it and let it drip. Second time they flooded my apartment, they must have clogged their toilet, and to the point where it just continued to overflow until it was pouring, literally pouring in, like a waterfall into my bathroom.
Oh man, that's disgusting.
So again, they watched it overflow and just sat there and was like, whatever. But so I moved out, and not only did the leasing leasing department, whatever, withhold my security deposit, they also fined me $1,500 for ceiling damage.
What? So they fined you for ceiling damage when the people upstairs were flooding their apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Did you take them to court?
No. I did the math in my head, and I'm like, it's going to be.
That's how they get you. That's why they do it. Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Because I moved completely out of the state. Like I moved back to up to Boston from Arizona. So I'm like, I'm gonna try and fight this over the phone.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And just pay and move on with your life.
Okay. Wow, that sucks.
That totally
Thanks,
sucks.
Mike.
It's not your fault.
Here's a text that says, oh my God, landlord is the owner of a rental. Anyone else is property manager or superintendent. So we'll take your word for that.
All right.
So landlord is definitely the owner. Let me go to, let's see, James. Hi, James. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Ed, sir. Are you a property manager or landlord?
So I'm actually a tenant. I live in Berlin, New Jersey currently.
Okay.
We have been living here for about the past 3 years now, and we've had that communication with our landlord when we're going to be late or if rent's not going to make it that month.
Yep.
And it's always seemed to work out in our benefit to where he's always worked with us. I'm pretty sure it's his only property, so it's not that big of a deal. It's like a side hustle for him.
Right.
But other than that, he may not be the best at fixing things quite on time.
Right.
We had an oven go out 2 days before Thanksgiving last year, and it took about a week to get another one. So it was a bit of a pain, but
So you have a good arrangement. Can you pay in increments and you have that kind of thing going on?
So I actually called my landlord yesterday, and we're going to be late this month, and he just told me to keep him in the loop, keep him posted, whatever we can pay him, we can pay him.
And find out what a
we'll
hot
just-
Carl is.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm sorry to hear that that's the issue, but I think you're right. If you go, I think the thing that will clearly weigh against you is if you just try to be duplicitous and avoid them and don't answer the inquiries. If you get proactive and say, as apparently you have, and say, I'm having issues, can you work with me? I think the landlord would rather do that.
All right,
Yeah, definitely. We live in like a 2-story like apartment building. It's off the side of some townhome development. And
It's the Furley
we moved
Arms.
We moved from upstairs to downstairs, and the previous tenant downstairs, she completely destroyed everything, let her cat urinate on everything, and backed up sewage pipes and everything like that. They had to completely remodel before anybody else could move downstairs.
Wow. All right,
Yeah,
thanks,
and she
James.
just left them high and dry.
Appreciate it. That sucks, and that's the type of thing that happens.
Well, there are people who play the system, who go. They'll live in a place. They'll run down the legal clock because, as Kathy pointed out with your brothers, it takes forever to get someone out of an apartment, and so they'll use that to their advantage, and that's how they just like sort of gypsies wander to different places, live there for a while, and then move on.
Somebody texted and said, just a reminder, Fred and Ethel Mertz owned the building and lived in their building as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were the owners.
Okay.
Here's another one that says, I once had a landlord who started drinking and forgot to collect rent for a year.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Lucky.
Yeah, totally. Are you kidding me?
What year is it?
Yeah. Let's see. Neighbors from hell. Let's go to Bran. Hi, Bran. Good morning.
Gadzooks, guys.
Gadzooks, buddy. What's up, man?
So I owned a split home in the 80s and barely saw the tenant. He would actually pay 2 months advance. So we never really saw him at all. Part of the deal was you had to pay utilities. So one day we get the bill. This is the 80s. The electric bill is $1,000 over.
Okay.
Jeez.
Absurd in the 80s. So go knock on the door. There's nobody there. We're looking through windows. One of the blinds is just over a little bit, and we see plants all throughout the living room. He had a grow operation, about 300 plants.
Wow.
In every room. Called the cops, obviously. They put a warrant out for him. He did not show back up for months and months. And one day he showed up to get his gear. The cops were keeping close surveillance on the home, called him, and he spent like 30 years in jail.
30 years? Wow.
So it was the
He
1980s.
had that many plants. That's why he was paying us in so much advance, so that we wouldn't, go over, ask any questions. And
Yeah.
I miss the money, but
and the pot.
Yeah, no kidding. All the free weed you got. That's wow, interesting. All right, thanks, Bran. Appreciate it, man.
that was Delco, by the way.
Delco.
Yeah.
All right,
5
thanks,
points.
man. All right, here's a text that says, I had a neighbor in my apartment building who we swore was a prostitute since we'd see her walking with a different man every night. Then her daughter must have wanted to hide having sex from her mom because she would throw used condoms out her window onto the walkway between our apartments.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, that's disgusting.
What if you walk your dog in that area? It's a little rubbery chew toys for your pup.
Little toy.
What you got there, buddy? That's a baby sock.
Let me see. I have Kevin who's on the line. Hey, Kevin, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
Buckle up. This is going to be a bumpy one.
Ooh, good.
Oh, my God. So we lived in a townhouse about 15 years ago. We were the underneath neighbors, and everything was peachy keen until one Sunday, we started hearing church music above us.
Okay.
Turns out the neighbor above us was a pastor, a born-again alcoholic pastor, and performed church group in his townhouse every Sunday night starting at 9 p.m.
Oh.
That had to be in violation of, was there some sort of building ordinance against that?
No, it was the landlord was one owner. He owned the top unit. He owned the bottom unit. The guy upstairs would bring in his small church group, about 15 people every Sunday, tambourines, PA microphones, singing, dancing, And
how's that allowed?
Why do you need a microphone and a PA?
So they can hear you in the bathroom.
15 people.
And it gets better. This guy, oh God. So he would start doing laundry all night long.
Okay.
He would start vacuuming at 1 a.m. He would start his washing machine at 3 a.m., dishwasher, everything. Second part to this story. So we were paying rent for a while. We came home one day, and we started to see sheriff's sale stickers on the door. And water and trash was included in the rent. Tried to contact the landlord. Mailbox was full. Couldn't leave a message. Rent checks, checked on the checks. He didn't cash the last 3 months' worth. Tried to call the secondary number that he had. Mailbox full. Couldn't get a hold of him. Called Bucks County, Doylestown. Taxes hadn't been paid on the property in over a year.
Oh my God!
No.
I had nothing to assume other than he was dead. Okay. So I took the last 3 months of rent checks and called a buddy of mine to find me a new place. And he said, "Why don't you buy a house?" And I said, "Because I don't have the money to buy a house." And he said, "Well, we'll make it work." And 3 months later, we bought and moved into a house. The very next day that we moved in, landlord calls me out of the blue and says, "Hey, Kev, what's going on?"
Where'd you go?
Okay.
Turns out he ended up in rehab in California. Didn't tell anybody.
And didn't tell anybody. Bailed and just said, "I'm going to go restart my life, and all this that's going on over there will
I'm
just
going
get
out for
on
milk."
Autopilot.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Between the church group, every Sunday night, the chores. He started every appliance, vacuuming at 2 a.m.
That's a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
And so he was. Yeah, you had no way to complain. You're locked in there. That's the nightmare.
Kevin, did he try to get that back rent from you?
No. I covered all my bases. I cleaned the apartment better than I found it. We painted. I had carpets cleaned. I took pictures, video. I CYA'd, man, left and right. And nothing, no recourse came from it. And what was the last part of the puzzle here? Oh, my God. It was just a mess. It was an absolute mess.
We had a similar situation. I should say, is my brother and I were living in an apartment, basement apartment. And the landlord, Preston, we never saw the landlord. And that meant also, repairs were never done. This was the house where I told you they rented the top part to these party guys, and I reversed the door handles on the whole thing. But, if you want to talk about an absentee landlord, I'm not ever sure that the landlord even saw. It was a residential home that she owned. But, after the initial signing, never heard or saw this person again.
That's weird. Yep. Hang on. I've got Gary, who's Director of Property Management in Philadelphia and can explain the eviction thing.
Please.
Hi, Gary. Good morning.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, bud. So we were just talking about this particular story. It's out of New York, a woman who is just a neighbor from hell, and they can't evict her. She hasn't paid since April of 2022. Causing all kinds of problems, kind of being protected by the COVID relief program, and she's obviously using that to her advantage.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of that actually in our industry. We have a number of units, almost 1,000 units down in Philadelphia, and we had a lot of people obviously apply for that program, and it was helpful in certain instances. But
sure.
I have to tell you, the vast majority took advantage of it, I'm afraid,
So, Gary, it's my understanding that there's a tremendous, where it really hurt, where people, again, like a residential home where they had a basement apartment and they weren't taking in a lot in revenue from the place, they got hammered hard, correct?
Yeah, look, we don't do that kind of a property, but I'm sure they would, because if you have to evict somebody, you have to have a rental license in Philadelphia to go through the process and have all your ducks in a row, literally. Otherwise, the court doesn't even want to know who you are. But we'll give you an example. We've had people that come in and pay. Like, we have some high-end rentals, that come in their first month, last month, etc., and deposits like $20,000 cash up front.
Wow.
So they'll come in and pay that, and they've got an $8,000 a month rental, and they never pay rent again. So after 60 days, you're like, all right, we're starting the process to evict you, and they get to live for free for 6 months to a year, because that's how long it takes.
That's insane. If I'm paying $8,000 in rent, you can be assured it's not me.
Yeah.
Gary, I am completely perplexed by your accent. Where are you from?
I'm originally from South Africa, but 20 years in the U.S. and the accent's gone away a little bit because
Yeah.
if it doesn't, nobody would understand what I said.
Hey, one of the things that I've never been able to wrap my mind around are the squatters' rights and how on some occasions people, if they can go into an occupied residence where the people happen to be away and get in there and kind of take over. Do you explain any of that?
Yeah, again, I don't deal much with that. We had a recent situation where somebody got arrested by the feds for drug dealing in one of our properties. Even that was a $4,000 a month rental. And the feds arrested him. He actually died, but nonetheless, he got shot and died by one of his.
Well, so it worked out well. Gary, so on average, how long does it take for a landlord has a really bad recidivist tenant? How long does it take for a landlord on average to get that person out of that rental property?
Probably 6 months.
6 months. Okay, that's actually less than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, that's if you've got all your ducks in a row and you've got an attorney working for you. You know, if it's a homeowner or a small investor, he may not have those kind of resources and know how to file and do all those things for an eviction. So it may take them much longer. And then if they get an attorney, these people are clever. This is almost what they do, some of these people. And they end up getting an attorney, a court-appointed attorney, which is free as well. Never mind the free rent.
Right.
And I'm getting a free legal representation in court from the city.
Well, let me go back because I had asked about squatters and I wanted to hear an answer about that. So what's the difference between that, a person being a squatter as opposed to a trespasser?
Yeah, so going back to that same unit with great tenant, he ended up getting kicked out, sublet it without our knowledge to somebody else, and they kind of squatted, and then that subletter let it to somebody else out, and we had the same sort of problem. We had to go through the courts to get them out.
That's a nightmare.
So, Preston, my friend deals with this a lot. He has a lot of properties, and yes, like trespassing is somebody breaks into the house and lives there. That's trespassing. You can call the police. But the squatter is, there's almost like any connection. Like you were dating a person that lived there. That person moved out. You can stay. But that's squatter's rights because you have like an attachment to the original. And just as Gary's saying, a sublet from a sublet from a sublet from a sublet.
It's all legal.
Yeah, it just goes through the legal process.
Wow. That's nuts. Gary, is a lot of your time spent working on stuff like this?
Well, fortunately, I have a great team underneath me, but I still got to be involved hands-on on a daily basis. So,
On another note, there, Gary, do you know of any $8,000 rentals up for squatting?
Not for squatting, Steve, but I certainly got a couple that I'm really looking to rent right now.
$8,000 for rent.
All right, Gary, thank you so much for the info. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, take care. We'll see you later.
That's insane.
Man. What's the most expensive? I'm trying to think of my rent. I think it's hard. It's been so long since I've rented a place. The last place was Rochelle and I had an apartment in Media. It was considered Media.
Right.
It was Coventry Crossing was the name of it. I'm trying to remember what we paid for that.
Do you remember your cheapest rent?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, $200 a month.
Okay.
Wow.
$200 a month, and it was a big apartment. But what I didn't know about it was
sex was included?
We were less than a mile from the prison in Jefferson City, and this was the place that the people who just got out of jail would go and stay. And so
$200 a month.
big rooms. I'm like, man, these are big. The carpet's old. It's really shaggy and ugly. But it's $200 a month. That's perfect for me.
And look at this, bars on the window.
Oh my God, no! It was people who are now out of jail and needed a cheap place to stay before they tried to get back on their feet. And I found that out shortly after when all the yelling and screaming and drunks and just craziness.
That's crazy.
I lived there for a couple of years.
I remember my college rent was $290.
Okay,
nice.
So I had a $200 deal. Preston, my friend, was going through a divorce. And we were moving out of this house where I never saw the landlord. I was by myself by that time. My brother had moved out, and it was a basement apartment. In that it was a basement. Right. And that's really what it was. There was no real, it's mildly finished with a little bit of tile, but there was nothing on it. So for $200, but that was actually a great situation because I knew the guy, I liked the guy.
Listen, and this, I'm sorry to interrupt, Casey. This $200 apartment. Now, mind you, I was finally on my own. This was my first, real apartment that I was paying for rent. It was like the Taj Mahal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was outstanding. I had an extra bedroom. I was living by myself. I had an extra bedroom. I was on top of the world, man.
I'll be in the library if you want.
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Plenty of room for prisoners.
Yeah. No, I need a ruling on this one because when my buddy was getting married, he and his soon-to-be wife bought a house, but they couldn't live together. So me and another friend decided to live with him for just a few months. I think it was like 8-9 months before they got married. So it was $400 each a month, which I thought was a really, really great rate. But so this guy that, who had bought the house, his in-laws' friends, they're like property owners, they're property managers. And he kept saying to my buddy, like, you're giving them a deal and, you should be charging them more money, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why? Like, I'm actually, so I was like, no, like, we're cutting you a deal. Otherwise, you could just be paying the whole mortgage all by yourself. So, like, why does this guy keep getting into our business and asking you to charge me more money? I'm like, the other result is like, no, you can just pay the whole mortgage yourself. Yeah. Ruling on this one, Press?
Oh, I think you guys were in the right. I think you were doing this guy a favor without question.
And this other guy needs to shut up.
Yeah, who was he? Who was the guy that was mouthing off?
It was his in-laws' friends, right? So he's like, he's a property owner and a property manager. He like owns apartment buildings and stuff like that. So he was coming at it from like that angle, and it's like, I understand what you're saying.
But go to hell.
But you're offering to live with him was doing the guy a favor. He needed some help. So
we were essentially cutting his mortgage in half or more.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Go to hell.
Go straight to hell.
Yeah. I lived in South Central Los Angeles for a little while, and my rent there was...
I knew you were always a badass.
Yeah? Are you a blood or are you a crip?
I was the white guy hiding in the apartment but it was...
the movie was called Boys with the Head.
Boys in the Head.
Boys with the big head.
Boys in the Head.
Boys in the Head. But it was me and 3 other guys, and it was $125 per person. It was $500 a month for the 4 of us. It was a...
Where was it exactly, Nick?
Tiny... It was right off campus from USC, and USC is in South Central LA.
Yeah, Crenshaw.
We went up and we went on the roof one night to have some beers and celebrate the new place, and saw the helicopters and heard the gunshots. We're like, let's go back down in the apartment.
Inside, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyhow, it was an interesting story of this woman, the neighbor from hell, and they just can't get her out.
No,
they can't get her out because she's protected in some sense. But I have a feeling something. If she's threatening neighbors and so on, you're crossing a line at that point. All right, anyhow, thank you for your calls. I appreciate it. If you didn't get through, I apologize. And thank you for being on hold. I had said at the top of the break that for Steve, will you remind me to make this announcement?
Preston, you have something you want to talk about?
Oh, thank you. I
about
appreciate that.
Okay.
So can I get a drum roll, please? Because we are excited about this.
Nick, can you remind me?
Steve, don't forget.
Okay,
hey,
Preston.
Nick, can you remind
Go ahead.
Steve?
Steve, don't forget.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we are excited that it is time to return to our gatherings once again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another Preston and Steve sorority party. Yes. The Sisters of Zeta Eta Pi are together once again for a little evening out.
The best sorority in the world.
Without question. We have had by far the best ragers of all sororities in the country. This party is going to be, actually it's coming up fairly soon, Wednesday, June 15th. It's a rare Wednesday night party we're going to do. And we are headed to Parks Casino in Ben Salem, and we will be at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden. Now, we're working on a theme. We're waiting to get some details, and we'll have information on that, because each one of these parties we like to have some kind of thing. We had like a painting party one time. We had a candle ceremony.
All sorts of stuff.
We've done a variety of things. We had a pinning party.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Wine tasting.
Yeah, so
pap smears.
We're working on a theme. It's not going to be pap smears, but it will be something else, and we'll let you know when that's available. But nonetheless, we're going to set you up. You get a complimentary first drink and a free happy hour buffet. It is 21 and over, ladies only invitation event. If you get on board, you need to bring another female with you.
Yes.
And we will do an indoctrination ceremony. If you have not yet become an official member of the Preston and Steve sorority, we will make sure that happens that night. So it is Wednesday, the 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden at Parks Casino in Ben Salem. So we can take 5 callers right now. First 5 callers, 215-263-WMMR. And we shall gather on that most wonderful of evenings to do it once again.
And for this hallowed event.
Yes, this hallowed event, if you will.
The online version wasn't as much fun.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. We're going to take a break. Come back in a second. We'll get to the B file. And we also have a guest about a cool event that's coming up. Stay right there.
What are you, a doctor?
Not DDS?
Of course. It
The
would be
ladies
anything
are
else.
stacked too deep
All
out
right,
there.
now put the headphones on,
Yeah.
and we'll see if this because
Radio chat.
Steve doesn't have sideburns.
I have
and
no
so that's the
sideburns,
one thing
no
that looks a little
eyebrows.
odd.
What happened was that they extracted me from the pod in the Matrix too quickly, and I hadn't fully formed.
I like this the
Put your
best.
headphones on. All right, let's see how this looks.
I have hair over my ears, which is weird.
That looks real,
Let me see.
Steve.
Look at me. Can you look at me?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Wait,
Doctor?
call.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, you got to do it. Dr. Chet Wainwright.
Hey, Chet.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
All right, do it again.
One more time, ready?
Hey, Dr. Wainwright.
Can I help you, ladies?
Oh, my God.
I think we got a yeast situation.
Casey wanted me to play this music. All right, so.
It's an African American wig.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. It's real hair.
Yeah.
It's real hair. I mean, it's just like a $1,500 wig, and this particular wig is going to a politician.
All right, somebody who's running for office.
So it's a short crop.
Okay.
You know, it's a short crop.
All right.
Yeah, just take a look. See.
All right, Superfly, come on in. Let's take a look and see. Yeah. Yes. Oh, dude, Steve. Oh,
Out of sight.
Yeah. That looks real.
It looks pretty real. I think this looks the realest. Apparently, I would be a really good black dude.
It's a tight curl.
You know what this reminds me of, though? And see if it frames for you a little bit. Like Mr. Brady.
A little bit.
A little Mr. Brady in the latter part of the series.
Okay.
Sort of what they would call an Isro.
Yeah. No, you know what it looks like? It looks like my friend Nolan, who's Jewish.
Now, Peter, Bobby, someone broke that vase.
All right. So, other than the Brady affectation, what kind of can you need to look at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look and see what name, what voice, what your style is going to be.
Wesley Python. You like that?
Yes.
I love the name, Wesley Python.
My name is Wesley.
Yeah.
Wesley Python.
So are you kind of? Oh, then they're kind of like a Billy D.
I'm like a Billy D.
Okay.
I'm like a malt liquor drinking.
All right.
Wannabe.
Yeah. Smooth.
Wesley Python. Smooth.
Yeah.
I go down like my ladies.
Hang on, I want to try something else. Yo, Wesley.
Is that good?
No, he's Isaac from the Love Boat.
I'll do it again.
Yeah. Yo, Wesley.
Fell over.
With the headphones on.
Yeah, there we go.
I love
even
it.
better.
Oh, that looks good.
Hey, yo, you boppers out there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right.
Wigapalooza on the Preston and Steve Show.
From Funkadelic. Wesley Python with you. Let's get the funk on.
Hey, Wesley, do you have a favorite?
Hey, if you want to hear the song, send me a fax.
Do you have a favorite
that'd
so
be
far?
a self-addressed stamped envelope,
Yeah.
probably.
Send a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll try to get it on for you in 3 weeks when it arrives.
Do you have a favorite so far?
What's that, little man?
Do you have a favorite wig so far?
Let me see. I'm kind of like, for the one that looks the most real, this one.
Yeah, right.
And the last one. They're both the ones made with human hair. The synthetics, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it.
I'm thinking the Chet was my favorite.
Chet,
The Chet was good.
I'm the man with the plan.
The last birthday I saw is an actor named Adam Devine. And
Yes.
he was in Pitch Perfect. So,
Yeah.
Casey, I'm sure you got something queued up. This this him singing?
No, this is actually Ben Platt singing. He took over for Adam Devine because Adam left the band to go be a backup singer for John Mayer, if you recall, in that particular movie.
Okay, so this is the end of the movie, and they do that song Magic.
Yeah.
You love this version of it.
Oh, my God, dude. I get so welled up.
Do it. Play it. I want to see you cry. He went on. He also had a role on Modern Family for a while.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I like him. He's good.
He's very funny.
Good, cool, comedic actor. He was also in a movie that I like a lot, The Intern.
Yep.
And he was in Why Him. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. So here we go.
All of it, man. Like, it just builds to a crescendo, and these guys, and then the Barton Bellas, and I just get so happy.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
There's also a scene in Madagascar 3.
Oh, my God.
Where I think it's the hippo.
That's when the series hits its stride.
Oh, my God. When the hippo comes out and like, because they're working towards this big show, this big circus, and then the hippo comes out and Firework is playing from Katy Perry, and I got so happy that I started crying.
Listen, it's very impactful. I think even Gene Simmons got a little teary-eyed.
That hippo makes the appearance in Madagascar 3. You need to understand it's the culmination of everything. This very large creature you would not think would be so adroit on the stage wows everyone, including a group of meerkats.
Even kind of, stone-hearted Gene Simmons crumbled to that.
Melted this icy heart. My face, I was smiling so hard, my surgically reattached face slid off my skull.
Oh my God.
There's another crescendo.
There's an incredible scene where a platypus sings, "I was made for loving you."
What were you going to say?
I can't well, I just know it's at the end of the new Muppets movie that has Jason Segel in it.
Right.
Because they're doing this like telethon to save this theater. Something, is it the chickens? I don't know.
Happening?
Of course, the famous chicken scene.
I get so happy. Yes, they're doing the Gnarls Barkley song.
Oh,
it's FU.
Yes.
Okay. When they do that again, I'm so happy that I start crying. I don't know why.
It's just the way
I cry out of happiness sometimes. Back to you, Preston.
From this made you cry? That one did?
I don't know. Maybe I was
Do you want to bawl like a little girl?
Yeah.
You want to see a chipmunk sing Gnarls Barkley? Now that's incredible.
Oh my God.
It's just a crescendo, and when it gets to that part, I don't know why I'm.
You
so
like
happy.
those? You like
I
those?
Love it.
Tug at the heartstrings.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, how about at the end of Coco, where he's singing the song to the grandmother, Coco? That one puts me in absolute tears. Now, it's a little different than a chicken singing Gnarls.
You gotta understand, it's a crescendo that builds to that, right?
Okay.
It's there's a whole like sequence, and then it gets to the chicken singing.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have it on the video screen. Now that I see it, yes, wow, what a tearful moment.
Those incredibly talented chickens.
Well, the holiday season begins in earnest when Oprah Winfrey's annual list of favorite things arrives. Showing America all of the wonderful things we probably can't afford this season.
Do you remember how huge this used to be when she would have that episode?
Yeah. And by the way,
in fact, our favorite things when we first did the Christmas Miracle, that's what it was based on.
Yeah.
The original name was Things That Make Us Explode in Our Pants.
That's correct. By the way, Kathy's holiday activities list will be coming sometime soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much ready. Marissa and I were talking about yesterday.
We're waiting on some musical accompaniment for that, so it's on the way.
Strange
My God, that was sexy the way she said that.
Ew, really? Don't ever say that.
But you went, yeah.
That's how I feel about holiday
I know.
activities.
That's what turns you on.
She bites her lower
sex,
lip
no,
like
thank you.
like Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Activities.
So
Floral and Hardy.
And she followed that up with, ew, don't ever say that.
Because it came from you. That's weird.
I know. And on Wednesday,
Oh my God, I'm so moist. Winter activities. This year including Hanukkah and Ramadan.
All right, so, and on Wednesday, even the 64-year-old admits that the list has gotten a wee bit out of hand in recent years. She said, these days, choosing my favorite things makes me a little cuckoo. What started as an organic extension of wanting to treat people to some of the things I truly love has turned into an annual list that takes a team to curate. I then go through every item, picking my favorites and narrowing the selection to my own. It's a process, but because it's important to me to remain as true to my original inspiration as possible. My guideline, do I really like it enough to want to receive it myself? So that's how she decides what's going to be on here.
Look at the judgment parameters. She's a multi. What is she, a billionaire now at this point?
Yeah. But she still likes fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, little
Maseratis.
Yeah, little Maseratis you can play with. Perhaps the most infantile is a onesie sweatsuit for adults, dubbed the jumpsuit. In L.A., relax.
I already have one.
Onesie, we're running $168.
I have one that has Michael Dukakis' picture on it.
Yes. Like a onesie for grown-ups, this jumpsuit is a pleasure to wear on a long trip because you can curl up in it and still look fresh when you get where you're going. The stripe down the leg sure does slenderize as well, she says.
Hey, have you seen anything that's this year's Snuggie? You remember like a couple of Christmas seasons ago?
I have. Did you see? It's like an oversized hoodie sweatshirt.
No, I have not seen it.
That you can kind of like snuggle into.
So like you can pull it all the way up over you
All
and
right,
everything?
so you know how like you and I don't do things like this, or like guys, we don't like cuddle up on the couch and crawl up into like a little ball, right? and sit up straight. So it's meant for girls
who bend their knees, and I know
who bend their knees.
So pull the end of it down over like a full blanket. I got you.
Yeah, like kind of put the legs over to the side.
I sit like this with like.
Yeah, it's called a huggle. Is that what it's called? Yeah, there it is.
The huggle hoodie.
Huggle hoodie.
Case, go do it on our couch.
I can. I'm not flexible enough to do that.
I can't bend my knees up like that. I do pull my arms into my shirt from time to time, though.
Yeah, you do in meetings sometimes too.
Yeah,
what I found out on
there are a couple things. The hand tuck under the thighs as you're sitting there. I like to build a pillow wall along my sides to keep airflow at a minimum.
Right.
And when you really want to get in cozy mode.
Yeah.
So that way I can sit down and fall asleep during the shows I'm watching.
Yeah, right, exactly. Case, this looks like a good idea for like maybe 3 minutes, and then I just start to sweat and like would not be able to get out of it.
I'm stuck.
I'm dying in here.
Bend my legs. I'm stuck.
Kathy's like, I can't breathe. Holy Jesus. I need water.
Start having a panic attack.
Yes.
I love when you go, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
So those are Oprah's, some of her favorite things this year.
Okay.
What about the $1 billion? Is that one of her favorite things? No.
Please welcome the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yeah. All right.
Morning,
okay. Wow, I love the way you did that.
Well, thank you. I love the way you're
that was really great. You had rhythm. You had rhythm.
See?
Thank you.
You know,
who could ask for anything more?
Let's get right into that. I love that you love rhythm so much. It's a huge part of your life.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's not melody and it's not harmony, but it certainly is rhythm.
You were exposed to percussive instruments and rhythm early on. Your dad was well known and well respected. And
I wouldn't go that far.
He was a musician?
He was a musician?
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, really? All right.
But he did dabble.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
then you were working in a you had a job and you were
I had a job once.
A jazz club?
Once.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I can't remember having the last time I had a job. Just thinking of the idea of having to have a job just give me the willies. I mean, what would I do with the job? Oh my God.
You wouldn't be a 9-to-5 guy working the cubicle?
No, I doubt it. But if I had to, I would.
You would.
Yeah, but I don't have to, and I won't.
Yeah.
But so you don't view what you do as a job?
Oh no, it's a service. It's a service industry. I mean, that's what music is all about. You know, you provide a place where people can come and have an emotional moment,
right?
And ritualize. So, yeah, I know, and I think it's very profound, and I'm very.
We do the bizarre file, ladies and gentlemen. Little announcement to make: we are in the presence of greatness. He is not only the man of the year; he's also won the Fields Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick McElwain is the LLS Man of the Year. You did it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was the head of the campaign, but everybody else did it. I mean, the amount of money that was raised was by the listeners of MMR, by people like Rob McElhenney and Caitlin Olsen. Adam McKay contributed. Scotty Hartnell, some really cool people I reached out to who said that they would help, and they did. And so we raised nearly $70,000 for this campaign. It all goes to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. That was just my team. Collectively, it was, more than $360,000 last night. So LLS is a great organization. It's near and dear to my heart. I'm really, really proud of the efforts. Thank you so much to the Jackson family. Kara is listening right now. She and her dad, Scott, brother Ryan, and mom Peggy were there. Scott's actually right now climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, so he wasn't able to attend last night. But the Jackson family's incredible, and so they were really generous as well. So it was a long 10 weeks, and I'm really, really happy with the results, and it's I'm humbled by all of it. But to raise that much money for an organization like LLS is a fantastic thing.
Nice. Round of applause, Nick McElwain, everybody. That's awesome. When is there an event coming up where they will bestow the award upon you?
Last night.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, last night was the gala, and so the LLS Man and Woman of the Year gala. Also, congrats to Cindy Webster. Cindy works for one of our competitors, but Cindy's a great person, and she won Woman of the Year last night. So I'm really happy that she was able to do what she did and raise as much money as she did, and just a lot of great people that were nominated, and the event last night was a lot of fun. So thanks to LLS for nominating me in the first place, and thanks to you guys for your support and donations. It's a cool thing. Of
course.
Tonight, Preston, is the Evictathon.
The Evictathon.
Troublesome tenants.
All right, cool. Well, let's get to the bizarre file, then we got to talk somebody.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Mulchworks of Aston. They offer the highest quality mulch and topsoil that's manufactured on-site. Delivery or pickup for residential and commercial markets. You can visit mulchthis.com. Well, we'll start with this. It's a story of a hero mom. This is a Canadian mother. Washington is where it's took place. Washington State. This woman saved her toddler from a nearby baby black bear, which was walking outside of their house. The mother, named Samantha Martin, weighed in on the scary yet heroic move. She said, "I was scared and started cursing like a sailor." In the video, you can see her young daughter, Juniper, walking to the backyard after she spotted the black bear, and she proceeds to start running towards the bear. This is a little girl.
Yeah, at a full clip.
Yeah, saying, "That's a bear."
Yeah.
Like she's running to it.
Goddamn right.
Martin said that after reading an animal book, bears were Juniper's favorite animals.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a problem.
And she 100% had no clue that things could go that those things could basically eat her alive.
Here's another kid that read that book.
Sure enough, Martin was able to think quickly enough to run outside, scoop up her daughter, and took her back into safety before, they could find any mama bear that might have been around.
That's the big threat, obviously.
Yep.
Whether the kids, there's the mama, and the mama's going to defend those cubs with all her might.
Saved her daughter. Wow. A man, this is terrifying, a man in Laredo, Texas was arrested after saying he had plans to go human hunting while buying a firearm accessory from an online seller. The Laredo police received information regarding the threat after the online seller contacted police. The seller had used social media to offer a firearm optic or a scope for sale. Upon meeting with the buyer to complete the transaction, the seller told police that the suspect stated his intentions to go human hunting. Police launched an investigation and identified the buyer as 37-year-old Javier Torres. During a search of Torres' home, officials found several handguns, extended magazines, long rifles, a bulletproof vest, and armor plates, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Torres was arrested on a charge of terroristic threats, and his home was also less than 1,000 feet from an elementary school. So that could have been a tragedy averted right there. Police say that a man is facing multiple felonies after authorities say he attempted to steal a vehicle and then tried to steal a helicopter from the Emporium Barracks in Cameron County, Pennsylvania.
First a car, then a helicopter.
Yeah. Troopers say on Thursday morning, authorities were dispatched to the barracks for a report of a man identified as 39-year-old Michael Roberto, and he was attempting to steal a pickup truck from the parking lot. Investigators say Roberto had left the barracks prior to troopers arriving on scene, and they say at the same time a helicopter was landing at the barracks, and troopers say that they witnessed Roberto sprinting towards the aircraft.
You're in that helicopter, and you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy.
That's him running towards the helicopter,
He's very
screaming all that. Authorities say Roberto attempted to access the cockpit of the helicopter, but was kept away by the pilot, whom police said had to hold the door shut to prevent him from getting inside.
Get to the chopper!
Police said Roberto was taken into custody with drug paraphernalia found on his person. Troopers also noted that Roberto appeared to be intoxicated at the time. He's being housed in the county jail on $50,000 bail.
That could have gone so bad.
A California woman who punched a Southwest Airlines flight attendant in the face during a flight, breaking her teeth.
Oh, my God.
Has been sentenced to 15 months in federal prison. Viviana Quinones was ordered to pay nearly $26,000 in restitution and a $7,500 fine for the assault on the Southwest flight between Sacramento and San Diego. Quinones is prohibited from flying for 3 years. She has to be on supervised release and must participate in anger management classes or counseling.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Last year, she pleaded guilty to one count of interference with a flight crew and attendant, admitting that she punched the flight attendant in the face and head with a closed fist and grabbed her hair. And there's video of it, too, by the way. During the flight's final descent, the attendant had asked Quinones to buckle her seatbelt, stow her tray table down, and put her face mask on properly. Instead, Quinones began recording the attendant on her cell phone, pushed her, then stood up and punched her in the face and grabbed her hair before other passengers intervened. The plea agreement said that the flight attendant suffered 3 chipped teeth, 2 of which needed crowns, along with bruises and a cut under her left eye that needed stitches. So it's another psycho on the plane. And then we'll do another story. Let's go. Oh, this is terrible, man. Authorities in Virginia identified 2 women missing on Tuesday after a group of people in rafts and on paddleboards went over the Bosher Dam on the James River a day earlier. 12 people were involved in the accident Monday afternoon. The dam has a 12-foot drop, and the water levels had been high. Images of the search show the river seemingly placid above the dam, but roiling below, with some of the group's paddleboards and inflatable rafts caught in the currents below the rush of water. One of them managed to reach a nearby house for help. Kayakers in the area helped rescue 9 more, but the police said that 2 women were unaccounted for despite a very thorough search. Crews searched for 2 women until dusk, and the search resumed on Tuesday. Police say that they have worked with friends and families of Lauren E. Winstead and Sarah E. Airway. Police warn that the river is at dangerous levels in some areas, and anyone entering the river should be extremely cautious. Wow.
I think it was like 9 feet over limit, and where those rafts were, it was like a constant, like a dishwasher almost. It kept turning over in the same spot.
Yeah, it's like over by the art museum.
Exactly.
That spillway.
Yeah,
You'll see like big branches get stuck there.
Right.
And there's this hydro thing that happens, and it keeps stuff in place, and you can go under and stay under, and it's terrible. So, all right, there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right, we have a guest we're going to talk to. He's joined us on many occasions to talk about this very event. It is the CF Charities Supercar Show, which is going to be Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center at 10 a.m., and these are the badass exotic supercars, muscle cars, street rods, all that stuff, the really high energy stuff. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Larry Kaplan, to the show this morning. Yo, Lair.
Hey, guys. Always fun to follow the bizarre files.
Always. Good to have you on. Good that this event is taking place. And did this have to take a pause during COVID, or did you guys keep going, Larry?
No, we took a pause.
Okay.
It was, we just didn't want to get anybody sick, and we thought it was probably best that we take a break. So even though it's an outdoor event, it's still one of these things where at the time nobody really knew what the risk was, so we weren't going to put people at risk in the middle of this. So
gotcha.
So we're back. We are certainly back.
So you've got over 500 vehicles this year, and this will be the 10th year. By the way,
anniversary.
This is happening, yeah. And what are some of the things that you're excited about to see and to show this year, Larry?
Well, this year, we've got the drive that starts at about 8:30 in the morning. So we'll have 200 cars going through the city. We'll shut the streets down, basically. We'll run down Broad Street over the Parkway. This year we added Kelly Drive to it, so we'll run Kelly Drive and then through Fairmount Park on that side, back to the Art Museum, and then back down to the Wells Fargo Center. So if you want to see the cars actually moving and hear them and all of that running through the city, that's the time to do that. But we've got there's always an incredible list of cars that are there that are some of the fastest cars in the world.
Throw out some of the sexy names.
Yeah.
What are some of those badass vehicles?
Oh, there's Bugattis and Lamborghinis and McLarens and Ferraris, and then there's the really, really crazy stuff like SSC and Mosler and Salines and things like that are, the world record cars and stuff.
Wow. Hey, Larry, what about the high-end racing electric vehicles that are out there now?
Yeah, they don't make any noise.
Not as fun.
Yeah. Well, you got to understand something. I race cars, and I just got done doing another 295 mile an hour run. So I'm the whole visceral feel of it's kind of tied into my being.
I got it. No, yeah, that makes sense.
Excited about a hairdryer going down the road.
Nice, man. What are any of your personal vehicles featured in this? I would imagine, right?
Always, pal. Always. I've got sort of this really crazy collection of American supercars that is pretty rare. So I have some 101s and 1 of 3s and 1 of 15s, that kind of thing.
Now it's like you're asking what your favorite child is, but do you have one that kind of really catches your fancy?
Yeah, well, there's 2 answers to that question. One is whatever the next one is I'm getting,
right?
And the other one is whatever I have, whatever I want to do, it changes. So they're all they all have a personality. One of them I'm pretty convinced wants to try and kill me. Other ones are a lot more sedate. But now they really vary depending on what I'm doing. I think I'm going to take the SSC Ultimate Aero through the city this time, which is kind of a cool car because I think there's only 3 of them in the country.
Hey, so CF Charities, this is what the benefits from this event. Can you tell people who are not familiar with CF Charities what that organization is?
Absolutely. Like Friday night, tomorrow night, we're going to give out 21 scholarships to Philadelphia school kids. A lot of these are kids that some of them wouldn't be going to college but for these scholarships.
Okay.
So and then they're nominated by counselors or teachers or coaches, and this year it's been expanded all the way through the entire city. So it's not just public school kids; it's charter school kids as well as Catholic school kids. So we have everybody involved in it. We also bring healthcare to students in the public schools, primarily dental and vision, and to kids who don't have access to it or easy access to it. And then we have the training programs inside the schools for kids to get trained in healthcare. So they get trained as medical techs, pharmacy techs, dental assistants, and whatnot. And then we, of course, give them scholarships to go on into professional school or college so they can be healthcare professionals and be part of the solution for access to care. So
it's great.
So it's sort of this, it's all local. It's all great support. And, we certainly appreciate the heck out of you guys getting the word out because, we want the more attendance and the more cars that are there, the better it is every year.
Well, and aside from the charity, 3 great things. Number 1, tickets are only $5 if you order them online. Parking is free, and the weather is going to be fantastic for this event on Saturday. So this is excellent, man. Hey, Larry, by the way, I'm curious if at these events do any of these cars exchange hands, or any of these guys buying cars from each other when they get to see them in person?
It's funny. There's conversations that always get started there. And usually it turns into, no, you can't buy mine, but I can help you find another one.
Right.
Kind of a thing. But no, one of the beauties of this is the car community is incredibly philanthropic.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just a great group of people that really are giving. And, look, I let people sit in my cars and I'll invariably take somebody from the crowd and say, come on, get in. We're going for the drive. You want to go with me? Jump in the passenger seat.
Wow.
My son sat in one of your cars, and I was like, don't touch anything when you get in there. Literally, don't touch anything.
Hey, Kathy, how you doing?
Good.
One of these days I'll get one of you guys out there. I have the fastest car in the world. It won't be at this event, but I set the world record of the fastest car in the world. And then actually just ran it a couple weeks ago so I'm going to break 300 miles an hour in that car. But one of these times when I have
pause, 300 miles an hour.
Yeah, I did 295 the other day.
Which one is this? What vehicle is this, Larry?
This is called the SSC Tuatara. So it's if you just
It's a Prius.
My name in or world record or any of that crap, it'll come, or any of that, it'll come up.
Where do you get to 300 miles an hour? Like, where do you race it?
676?
I was on the space shuttle runway down at Cape Canaveral.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
Why didn't you just take it up while you're doing that?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What's that? Yeah, well, the idea is to keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
You're trying not to take off. But yeah, there's always interesting stuff that goes on. I was still breaking the wheels loose at 280 miles an hour.
How long are you at 295? If that's what you reached, how long are you at that speed?
Instantaneously. I got to get back down to get stopped before I run out of runway.
Okay.
I was coming up on the grass pretty quick this time, and I had to make a decision as to whether I was going to make this turn or not. So it got a little sketchy at the end, but yeah, you get there and get down. I mean, I'm at 250 miles an hour in less than 20 seconds.
Oh, my God.
That's like you,
insane.
Ken.
Hey, okay, so I've got I have a couple questions about this. When you run a vehicle to that length, how many parts need to be replaced after you get going like that?
Yeah, it depends on my day. Usually the idea is to set the world record, you have to go down the runway and set your speed, and then turn around and within an hour go back the other way.
Okay.
And do it again.
Okay.
Because you could have a tailwind or somebody could be cheating and going downhill.
Yep.
So you have to average the two. And a year ago, I broke the world record at like 282 miles an hour, 283 miles an hour. And now I just hit 295, and now we're dialing it in so that I can get this bugger over 300 and do an over 300 setup,
It's awesome.
Because it'll be the first time that any street car has ever
hit 300.
Has ever set that. Well, yeah, I have the record right now, but I want to break my own record.
Yeah. Well, you want to hit that magic number, I would imagine, at 3.
Exactly. I really want to hit 500 kilometers an hour, which is like 311.
Okay. All right.
Any desire to run one of those in the Bonneville Salt Flats, the rocket cars?
Well, those don't. Yeah, they're not street cars. So this is a class of cars where somebody could literally order this car and buy it and drive it around on the street. It's completely street legal.
Right.
So yeah, there's always modified cars. I mean, I think the fastest one did 700 or 800 miles an hour or something. It's basically a rocket that they, that they run on the salt flats out there. But this is harder. It's different.
Yes.
But it's really hard because I have such a short distance to do it.
And because
I've got to get this.
And the kids are in the back fighting and all that. It's such a distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane, Larry.
I've only got a couple miles to get to 300 miles an hour.
That's amazing.
Well, all right, so the SEC Tortora is going to be at this event. People can see this car.
No, this car will not be at the. Unfortunately, I sent it back up to the manufacturer so we can dial it in.
Okay.
So I can get back down there and make that run right away. So it won't be here for this one, unfortunately. But its little brother, the Ultimate Era, which used to be the world record car, will be there. That's the one I'm going to drive through the city.
Okay. Excellent.
It's the price of admission is so low, and
It's
you're going to
$5.
see stuff you will not see anywhere else. You got to go.
Yeah, $10 at the gate if you show up, and parking is free. And it's at the this weekend, by the way. It's going to be on Saturday, 10 a.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. What time do you guys go till, Larry?
We run till 2, but my suggestion is don't wait till 10 o'clock to get there. Get there earlier because we're doing the drive.
Yeah, watch them roll in.
When we roll back in from that drive. So come in by 9.
Okay.
And honestly, by noon, if it's sunny and hot, people are starting to feel like they want to get out off the parking lot because we're at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah.
We also have VIP tickets for people who want to get into the Xfinity Live, and then there's free food and the bars there. And we have a battle of bands Friday night. So the winner of that is actually going to be playing at the show the whole time too. So there's live music, there's food, there's everything. And it's, a family of 4 comes in for $20. So it's crazy.
That's great. All right. So you can go to cfcharities.org if you want to order those tickets online or get them at the gate, $10 there. All right, Larry, best of luck. Hope you hit that number 300. Let us know if that happens, and have a great event this weekend. All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you next time.
You got it. CF Charity Supercar Show. That is Larry Kaplan. Wow. Could you even imagine?
So I've been when I went to the NASCAR drive along.
Yeah, I did like 160.
In that general range,
and that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
300 miles an hour.
He was so nonchalant about it too. He's like, yeah, we got it up to around 300 miles an hour.
I have a friend who had a race team, and he's got badass cars, and he talks about it like that too, Nick. He would do these 24-hour races where they're hitting ridiculous speeds, and it's like, yeah, we just about this and that, you know. It's a different
Kathy,
breed.
Have you ever been clocked driving to Target?
That fast?
Yeah.
I was like, was there a Target at the end of the runway?
All right, well, listen, we do need to take a break. Marissa, we have movie passes. Give me some of those. Give me some of them. I want to give these away. We have a screening coming up next week, next Tuesday, of Hustle. All right, this is the Adam Sandler flick in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Filmed all over town. And we have a screening of this, and this is going to be Tuesday, June 7th, 7 p.m. at the Philadelphia Film Center. And if you would like to go, be caller number 10 and 11 at 215-263 WMMR. It's streaming on Netflix on June 8th, but we'll get you in to see the special screening of this event.
It's great.
It's called Hustle, stars Adam Sandler, and it takes place in Philly. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
You know.
But maybe even people.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
People who are maybe in the same situation as you, viewing it as a job. The fact that you don't view it as you view it the way you do.
It's not easy, but it's not like a job. It's like when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is think of, the new day and what kind of new rhythms there are in it and how I can interpret that. And that's what musicians do. They interpret, society and whatever you've seen or whatever it is, and they lay down that groove. And every 5-10 years you find a new groove, and you work at it. Yeah, you do work at it, but you work at play. You work to play.
Sure.
You have to keep your skill up. I play every day 2-3 hours.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Absolutely. In order to get up there and do what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an athletic event. It's not like lounge drumming and stuff. This is the power stuff,
Well, speaking of reinventing and finding new grooves, I want to ask you about John Mayer, because he's been with the band and touring with you guys for a stretch now. And I think a lot of people initially dismissed him as poppy and not the really great, incredible guitarist that he is. And from my perspective, he seems like the perfect fit for the Dead, because he holds you guys in reverence, but he can also hold his own. What are your impressions on John?
John's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, as it were. And his guitar, he's beautiful. He plays great. He fits perfectly in the band, and he's a nice guy. I mean, I know he has this reputation and all that stuff, but I've never had a moment of weirdness with him. He's just a very pleasant person to be around, and he plays his ass off.
Before he was a star, he played in the conference room down the hall in these offices. And I went to see his show that night, and one of his strings broke during the performance. He tuned the guitar to itself and he didn't miss a beat. And right then, I knew this guy had it, and I was so impressed by his ability.
I'll tell you when I knew he had it was one day when he was just joined the band, and I had gotten him into this droning things, feeding back, getting a little crazy. And so during the drums and bass part, he got down on his knee and he put the guitar into the speaker and he started feeding back. And I was looking at him and I was saying, oh, okay. So I walked around to the front of the speakers, sat down right next to him, and I had on one hand I had what do you call it, lighter fluid.
Yeah.
And the other hand I had a Bic.
Okay.
And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and I went like that. And for a minute, I thought he was
going to do it.
And then so he took it. He did take it while he was feeding back, and he put he put the Bic on his amplifier, and he took the lighter fluid and used it as a slide. And so he played slides with lighter fluid.
Full Hendrix.
And I said, John, you were going to do it, weren't you? And he said, I was really thinking about it, but the guy who makes my guitar is in the audience. So I couldn't do it. But he almost lit his guitar on fire, so I knew right then he was okay.
Wow.
I was wondering if you had watched the Grateful Dead documentary that was on Amazon and what your thoughts are. No.
No.
It was very in depth.
Oh God, it was just awful. I just did not like it.
You didn't care for it.
It was just a one-sided affair. It was not for me, and it really didn't show the Grateful Dead in its totality. It was more like a Jerry, whatever that is, memorial thing or whatever. He was trying to do, but it wasn't really. It didn't have the heart of the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
That's for sure.
There's been a lot done about
They made me watch. Oh, I watched it once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to say I didn't like it. But that's it. I didn't see it at the premiere. Me and Bob and Bill, we went out and had dinner while they showed the movie.
That's funny.
We came back right at the end when they all started. And we go, okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about some of the things that you do like. I was listening to the concert in Paris, 1974, this morning.
Yeah.
What was it besides the United States? What was your favorite country to play in?
Oh, Jesus, that's a good question. I think that I can't answer that question because they're all good when you play good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every country is the same. If the music is played well and we have a great time, France is great, England's great, Germany, it's all good if we play well. If we don't play well, the city sucks.
It's this place.
We blame it on the city.
Blame it on the city.
Of course. Franklin Port.
I also, as a fan, I there's an ebb and flow to the way I listen to your music, and so recently I flowed back to. I guess I ebbed back to. I ebbed back to studio albums. Do you? I don't know if you ever listen to your own music.
No.
But do you have a favorite studio album?
Yeah, I would have to say it would be, it was half studio and half live. It was called Anthem of the Sun. I think it was our second record, back 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was probably my favorite. American Beauty, Working Man's Dead. They were nice, fuzzy, warm.
See, my first album I ever bought was Mars Hotel, so I automatically go back to that one. And Unbroken Chain.
We were never very good in the studio. We never could cage the animal in the studio.
When did you realize that? It seemed to be early on.
Yeah, well, we thought we could make, no one knew how to make a record. But I mean, we didn't know how to make anything. We were just musicians at the time, and we weren't really savvy on the studio. No one had a studio.
Right.
Now I have a studio. Everybody has a studio. So we just weren't producible. There was too much anarchy in the band. Too many people wanting to do... they had strong opinions of it. So, and we never really liked it in the studio with the four walls. It was too captivating. We were like a captive in the studio. And we never really made a great record.
You guys had a pop explosion in the late 80s when you hit with Touch of Grey and Hell in a Bucket, in the dark. Was that fun? Was that cool? Was it neat seeing a whole bunch of people who maybe had not been turned? You always had legions of loyal fans, but here all of a sudden, boom, you had fresh music. And the tour was gigantic. Was it fun?
Oh, yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't quite like that.
Okay.
What happened was we were already playing stadiums at the time. That was in 87.
Yeah.
So instead of playing 1 or 2 days at the stadium, we're playing 3 days at the stadium.
Yeah.
So it really didn't affect us much. We just
You guys were touring sold-out shows anyway.
We didn't feel it, which we were playing stadiums.
Okay. Yeah, but you know what? I
was
found
more
out about you guys
incremental.
because of Touch of Grey. There was a music video. I was young at the time, so so you guys had a music video, so you were totally reaching an audience. That,
we never did the videos or anything. We never did a single. So we weren't really part of the music industry. We never played that game. And we know if we lived by the single, we would die by the single. If we didn't have a hit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember becoming aware of the Grateful Dead, through the iconic artwork that was associated with the band.
Yep.
What's that about? What's that about? So that predates obviously videos, but still a visual medium brought me into the awareness of the music, which is very cool.
Exactly. It mirrored the music. In the old days, how that started was these artists would come to the shows, and we were all getting high, and psychoactive drugs, taking acid and whatever. And these were physical representations of what the music sounded like. They would go home and they would start painting, and they're still high, and that's what these things were representing. They were representing the music.
How were you vetting that, or was it just sort of if you want to do it, or would you guys kind of consciously say, I don't like that, doesn't represent our band right, or was it just an open source?
Well, luckily in our case, the people would come up with these incredible,
iconic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we just had to choose between the good stuff. I mean, it was so much good around. A lot of people went home and just did it, and it was uncommissioned.
Yeah,
they just went out and said, "This has to be done."
Wow.
And so then all of a sudden we looked at them and we go, "That's us." And they go, "Okay, cool.
That's cool.
That's it."
Let me ask you with the art and your painting. I mean, did people automatically take to it? Were you afraid you were going to get here's a musician trying to be a painter sort of deal?
I'm not afraid.
Yeah. So what was that jump like, and how well were you received initially? Because I mean, honestly, we were looking at the stuff. It's pretty amazing looking.
There it is.
Yeah. So what was that initially like?
Well, I didn't think of it as it's art. You know, it came out. It's
right.
You follow the muse. I mean, you're an artist. You know, the thing that turns you on, makes you do things artistically. And first time I did it, I walked into the house and my daughter looked at it and she said, "You know, Dad, this got legs."
That's pretty good.
Legs. She liked it.
Yeah.
And so if my daughter liked it, and she doesn't like much.
Does she like the Dead? Does she like
that?
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, I'll paint it. If you like it, I'll paint it."
You can take a look for yourself and see Mickey Hart's work. It's called Vibrational Expressionism, The Art of Mickey Hart. And Sunday, back up this way, King of Prussia, noon to 2. Is there a spot where we can go to get all this information, a website or anything, you guys?
I just want to meet the King of Prussia.
Yes, we all do.
And I want to see Mrs. Prussia.
Sure.
Mr. Prussia. And all of the little Prussias.
All the Prussiettes. Yeah.
I'm actually Mrs. Prussia.
She is. Yeah. She shops there all the time.
I heard that she cooks.
Oh,
You heard wrong.
have heard wrong, sir.
Wrong, Mrs. Prussia.
She makes reservations. Yeah.
I can make a mean reservation.
She makes a mean reservation.
She makes a mean Romanoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give some love to the one and only Mr. Mickey Hart.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by, man. So let me go to here. More broken ribs. I have. It says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Walper.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a nickname now, Walter.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you hear what happened to a Whopper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and the P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name is Walter. And what happened to you? So what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand.
Yeah.
I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name!
His guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
But at least you got a great nickname today.
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother, okay?
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Rofo, they are up for the text run here, so just text word teacher if you go to Pope John Paul 39333. Tomorrow morning we'll find out who the next one is and award that. In the meantime, I saw the story I want to talk about. Man, the last Howard Johnson's restaurant closed. And while I had no intention of ever going there, I was a little bummed out to hear that.
Well, my wife's first job was ice cream at Howard Johnson's.
Yeah.
And we stayed at Howard Johnson's a couple of times when it was the restaurant connected to the hotel.
Yep, they had that for a little while.
Right. And and I always remember their ice cream. So to me, it was like it was Friendlies before Friendlies, you know?
Okay, so all right, I was going to say this is not affecting me one way or the other because I don't even know what it is. Is it a restaurant or is it a hotel?
Yeah, so it was a little bit of both. So it has an interesting history. And by the way, if you knew it as Hojo,
that's what I called it.
Then you've been around for a
Hojos.
while.
Yeah, that's the
Hojos.
The hipsters.
At one time, it was the largest restaurant chain in America, Kathy.
Okay, so more restaurant than hotel?
Yes, more restaurant than hotel, but they did have some hotel/restaurants, and I didn't stay at one, but at Lake of the Ozarks when our band would play down there, we stayed at a tiny crappy hotel right across from the Howard Johnsons.
And you dreamed.
And we
You
would go.
sit there.
Well, we would go over there and eat. We would go over there
smart
and
move.
eat at the restaurant.
And I
yes.
like the restaurant. Again, it was to like a decent level.
They were headquartered in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yeah,
Not
that is
far
correct.
from us.
Casey?
It's a major part of my childhood growing up. That was like a treat for us to go to Howard Johnson's. It was right on Route 1 where Route 1 and 320 meet. It has been 1,000 restaurants since then, and I think it's completely closed down now. But I remember peppermint stick ice cream.
Yeah.
I've never had it anywhere since. It was Hojo is Howard Johnson's was the only place I ever remember getting peppermint stick ice cream.
They were known for some unique flavors. I remember we used to go get. You would just go to the restaurant, Kathy, and Friendlies will do this now too. They're very similar, and get your ice cream directly from the restaurant.
Okay, but what is closing? Because I'm on their website and you can still book a room.
So the last one, well,
Was it a restaurant?
The last restaurant in Lake George, New York, it only had sporadically been open since March, and it now closes the restaurant chain that those on summer road trips would remember, and it's almost exactly 100 years after it was founded. It was the first and for a time the only franchise restaurant chain in the United States.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Hojo's.
So Howard Johnson's chain had been having some problems for years. Then one after another started closing its doors and it shut down. But at one time, it boasted more than 1,000 restaurants sprinkled around America.
Wow.
The very first one opened in 1925 in Quincy, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Its ice cream was famous for using butter fat.
Yeah.
And it was so popular that Howard Deering Johnson opened up an adjacent ice cream stand, and legend has it that he sold 14,000 cones a day for a time. By the mid-1930s, Howard Johnson's restaurant, known as Hojo's, started expanding into franchise agreements. So you got to remember McDonald's, Applebee's, Burger King, none of those existed at the time, and they wouldn't for a couple more decades. The Howard Johnson's chain became part of America, a staple of highway landscapes.
Yes.
Its consistent orange roofs, cupolas, and weather vane on top were like a beacon for motorists. And it was one of those places, like, if you saw it, you're like, oh, we got to go there.
You could see it way out ahead. There are a lot of places like that, that used to be the thing. The design was really...
it's like Stuckey's.
Stuckey's was
like
the
if
same.
You saw, you could see it had that big... yellow sign and you couldn't miss it.
I'm in
It's
the
like,
mood for some heartburn.
We got to go.
Yeah.
But like, how does a place like that just stop like having a decent product? You
Well,
know what I mean?
it's not even. They sort of fall out of favor, and I'm sure the COVID didn't help. With the whole deal.
Well, and do they change? Did they upgrade? Do you know what I mean? They got to go with the times, and it doesn't seem as though they did, and that's probably why.
Well, they
it fell
did
off.
for a while. I mean, they really started to, and up until, well, I'll give you the full history.
They
here
got a little
in just a
sexier
second.
for a while, Preston. The place was called Look at Our Johnsons.
Oh my God!
And
That's pretty good.
Very big Johnsons.
Yeah.
There was a place in Delaware, and I'm not sure that my memory is 100% accurate, but I would like the listeners to help me. There's a Harley Davidson dealership, and I believe a Howard Johnson's was attached to that, and it was a small version of a Howard Johnson that was sort of like in the
Small
back.
Johnson's.
It was a small Johnson's.
Yeah.
In the back of where the Harley Davidson
Micro
dealership was, right by the bridge that connects New Jersey and Delaware. So
Okay.
part of what I'm saying is accurate, and part of it is not, and I want to know which part is
part's
right.
accurate?
Yes.
If anybody knows, help Nick, 215-263 WMMR. Man of the year, need your help.
Thank you. Yes.
I thought you were going to talk about Bob's Big Boy. Because
Bob's Big Boy.
that's my association with like a Hojo's.
Bob's Big Boy would be
Yes.
very similar to a Hojo's.
There used to be one right on, is that Lancaster Avenue? Right where Radnor Rolls used to be.
Yeah. That became something.
Where I grew up, they were called Shoney's.
There was the same company?
Exact same, with the same logo, the big Bob's Big Boy guy and everything. It was called Shoney's.
They combined it was Bob's Big Johnson.
Yeah. Bob's Big Johnson.
It's a very different statue on top of that.
It was
restaurant,
this huge sort of It was weird. It almost looked like the head of a,
Looked like a missile or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
God.
All right, so here's some more of the history of Howard Johnson's. Most franchises were purchased by mom and pop operations, though each restaurant looked the same. Their service was unique, partially due to that family's ownership. As for the fare, it started with hot dogs, hamburgers, and various sandwiches, not to mention ice cream for dessert.
Yeah.
But even then, unusual offerings like peanut butter and bacon, toasted fried clam rolls, and sardine sandwiches added variety.
Oh, I remember my wife. My wife got the big job. They made her, I think, the fish fryer. So you know, and her sister got her the job. So that a lot of families, and at least the ones that were on Long Island, would sort of work their way through working, the counter at Hojo's.
And they had the split top hot dog roll, right?
Yeah, it was a New England style bun.
Okay.
Yeah. And Press, it's weird, saying what you were just saying, like, with sardine sandwiches, how does a place like that go out of business?
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So with the construction of the PA Turnpike, New Jersey Turnpike, and Ohio Turnpike after World War II, a new opportunity to bring Hojo's to travelers helped the franchise explode, strategically locating them at gas station turnoffs.
We want to bring split hot dog rolls to every man, woman, and child.
Meant instant on and off convenience. So they were really some of the first kind of fast foody. I mean, even though they didn't have drive-thrus, it was quick. You saw it right there at the exit, and you could pop off, eat, and get right back.
Do you have a
on.
good feeling? I mean, listen, was it the greatest food? No, but I loved eating there.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my God, what I just thought of? A restaurant.
Did you lose your virginity there?
No. This is a totally different restaurant chain that was kind of like this. Had a very controversial name to it.
Which was?
Sambo's.
Sambo's.
You remember
I
Sambo's?
do remember that.
Why is that controversial?
Because there was a story, it's called the Little Black Sambo. Yeah, and it was.
I remember that book.
But it was another one of these type of restaurants, and I just remember this going as a kid to those restaurants. So anyhow,
it was next to Drunken Irishman.
Well, here's the deal. Like in 30 years from now, 20 years from now, there's going to be a restaurant that we all love right now, some sort of fast casual that is going to be on its way out, and that journey starts like right now. Like Howard Johnson's could still be around if they just paid attention to the trends that were going on.
You look at a place like Perkins or whatever. They sort of come and go. I think right now the trend is in. I forget the exact term for it, where you don't get dressed up, but you have a seated dinner.
Fast casual.
Fast casual, maybe. Yeah. Hojo's was not. Hojo's was between.
It was a little more than that.
Yeah,
just a little bit more than that.
Like Panera,
like friendly,
like Panera's the big thing right now, right?
Go ahead, Case.
No, I was going to say, like, is Panera, is that going to be the Howard Johnson of 30 years right now?
Panera's food line is different. It could be.
Howard Johnson's had tables and a counter.
Yes,
it was like one of the almost like a diner type.
And
of thing.
you'd always hit the I remember as a kid, I always wanted to eat at the counter.
I loved eating at the counter.
But that's the case. If they change with what with what the community wants, or what we're looking for, then they could probably keep going. I still think that Howard Johnson's didn't change with the times.
But how is like Waffle House still so successful?
Because they're so
Howard
cutting edge,
right? Like Waffle House hasn't changed, but it's kitschy and it's trendy and it's cult-like.
Well, this is why it's so hard to run a restaurant, to run a restaurant chain, to have a successful one. I think Waffles is such a focused thing, and Howard Johnson's was mostly known for the ice cream. Mm-hmm. And then what was the big attraction in the regular food at Hojo's? I don't remember.
Good question.
Yeah.
I remember getting like chili dogs.
Okay.
That would be kind of my thing, but I don't know. Another restaurant chain, which I wish there would be more around here, is Steak and Shake. Kind of reminds me of this a little bit. Only I think Howard Johnson's had a little bit more. Anyway, let me get back to the history of Howard Johnson's. In 1954, it opened its first motor lodge, Kathy. So this is the one with the hotel.
Okay.
But this was also around the same time that McDonald's began franchising its drive-ins. If the
that every man, woman, and child after their split hot dog roll can grab a quickie.
If the restaurant turn-off model didn't get most road trippers, having a place to sleep for the night did. These motel chains became another staple of American highways. In fact, this part of the Howard Johnson's company still exists. There you go, Kathy.
So I will tell you this, my memories.
Now owned by Wyndham Hotel.
There you go. My memories of the Howard Johnsons, we didn't do motor lodges a lot, but when we did, they were clean, they were well maintained. I don't know. I guess maybe they were all franchises, but the quality was up there, certainly for a motel. Motels tend to be not as good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, agreed. Hang on, let me go to Lane here. Hi, Lane. Good morning.
Hey, it's actually Wayne.
Oh, Wayne, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I was just calling to let Nick know about the rest stop at the base of the bridge, man. It's actually all gone. They took the dealership out about 10 years ago, and the Howard Johnson's went out years before.
They took
that.
the Harley Davidson dealership out
Was
of
it
there?
a Barb's?
Oh yeah, used
No.
to be Mike
Mike's?
Famous. Then,
Mike's.
Then it went to Rommel, and then Rommel moved out of there.
Yeah.
Now they're down
The
to
German
General?
No.
Okay.
Did I say the knackers? This hot dog roll needs a slice in the middle.
Yeah, so no, apparently a bunch of people are texting in that now it's like a Starbucks, and they raised most of the stuff that was there. The Howard Johnson's that was there at one point, which is, I guess, what they built the motorcycle dealership around. All of that is gone. It's a Royal Farms and a Starbucks. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the only thing there. I grew up in the neighborhood right behind it, so we used to ride our bicycles down there. And when the Howard Johnsons went out, it was pretty sad. Busted windows, and then
It sucks because it's like that's such a formative part of your your childhood.
And it was right at the base of the bridge. So if you were
Thanks,
driving
Wayne.
any point like past Delaware or New Jersey, like connecting and going to the beaches or whatever, that you drive past it every single time.
People are texting in about some other places. Now I'm getting sentimental about Denny's
So am I.
and Ponderosa. And,
Ponderosa!
Friendlies.
Friendlies.
So-
Sizzler.
Bennigan's.
Ground Round.
Ground Round. You
Is
could
there
do-
still a Ground Round
I
in
don't
Westchester?
know, but Steve, the first comedy show I ever saw, stand-up comedy, was at a Ground Round in King of Prussia.
Nick, I played about 20 stand-up comedy shows at Ground Rounds when they were in the big comedy boom. The thing with the Ground Round that was so cool is you could throw your
Peanuts
on the floor.
Yeah.
You could defecate in the potted plant.
What?
in
Oh, my
front-
God.
In the foyer.
That's
Yeah,
I just assumed you could. No one actually said it.
what
My
case?
Howard Johnson's turned into a ground round. That's the
Okay.
There was a Ground Round right up. I believe there was here right as you
Wait.
on presidential.
Wait.
Sorry, Ground Round Grill and Bar was founded by Howard Johnson's.
What? Shut up.
Is this right? Is this? Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's the casual dining restaurant.
Are they expanded?
Maybe
not know
that was
in 1969.
if Casey's saying that his Howard Johnson's turned into a ground round, this was their attempt
To
at
save it.
trying to
Big
save
Harry
it.
Johnson's.
There you go.
And they just created another chain that went
Steve,
under.
Big Round
Big Round
Johnson.
Johnson's.
And Preston, I think that ground round in Westchester turned into something else. It might be a Nick's roast beef. I don't think it's the Picas.
It's a low main place called Big Veiny Johnson's.
Wow.
There are still some friendlies, though.
Yeah.
there's one in the Springfield Mall.
Is there one on Germantown, or is that one gone?
No, that's still there.
Okay.
So Ponderosa, if I remember correctly, so Preston, we used to have. So the first McDonald's that we ever went to as a family, which was right after church. So I always figured Jesus in some way loved hamburgers. So we would go and right across the parking lot was the Ponderosa. So and I remember the thing that was one of those classic menu styles where you would take the little plastic number and they would bring all the food to your table. Right, that's how it was laid out.
Yeah, I totally remember that. Yep. All right, so with the, they started doing the Motor Lodge, but with the new fast food restaurants, they began revolutionizing the American travel landscape. Cheaper food meant that to stay competitive, Howard Johnson's had to cut back on its premium ingredients. So by the early 1970s,
It will be a boon for prostitution.
but the early 1970s, the chain peaked with over 1,000 restaurants and over 500 motor lodges.
That's amazing.
Yeah. In 1979, the company accepted a $650 million offer to sell. Soon, many restaurants started closing due to poor performance. In 1989, it was sold again, marked by closing franchises and ownership changes. Marriott Corporation began buying up locations in the early 1980s for the valuable land most occupied. And from there, it was all downhill. So it had been deteriorating since the 1980s.
So you just said one of the things that I think is the key to any franchise or chain of restaurants. And if they have the consistency across all of them. The last thing, like if you like a dish somewhere, you want to know you're going to go into another location and get it that exact way.
Yep.
And when they start to deviate from that, that's when they'll fail.
Well, I've said this before, and if you ever see the Ray Kroc movie,
yes,
what was the name?
Founder.
Of it? Yeah,
Crocker
The Founder.
Crab. Yeah,
and his whole philosophy was that it needs to be the same at every one of these.
Right.
And what he did is initially when he started trying to get people to invest and be franchisees, he went to people who had money, rich people, and then he realized that they were just kind of doing it half-assed because it was just kind of a side thing for them.
Right.
And he changed his strategy by going to people who were going to invest their nut.
Right.
And they were going to make sure that they did it the right way.
Because
And
they had
so
everything riding on it.
Yeah, they had everything riding on
Right.
it. And of course, it exploded and became what it is. But it was that philosophy of everything needs to be done consistently at each one of these locations. And it ended up working out.
Casey, I have some bad news for you. The Friendlies at the Springfield Mall has been closed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not going to reopen. Apparently, it closed after COVID at some point and will not reopen.
The Friendlies on, I think, Henry Avenue. There was one.
Oh, yeah, that one's gone. That's been gone for a while.
That was, I like that one.
Hey, by the way, real quick, we had mentioned Ponderosa. What was the name of the steak place where people were fighting over the steak?
Golden Corral.
The Golden Corral.
Yeah,
That was it.
It was when you couldn't afford Ponderosa, go to Golden Corral.
Yeah, the slogan was, come for the steak, stay for the brawl.
And there was, oh my God, that was so funny. Like throwing chairs and
High chairs. That was the best.
And we had heard that this is kind of like a regular
At that
thing there.
location. They
Fights
had
at that location.
They have security guards.
Well, what they said is also the way that you collect up your food after the ordering system agitates people participating in it. And so that's the big problem.
Well, yeah, because some people want their steaks well done,
Yeah.
but they want it before the steaks that are rare, and that's not how steak works.
Right.
Man, somebody texted in and said, I'd mentioned Steak and Shake, and, they had opened a couple around here, 5 between Harrisburg and Norristown. Somebody texted, and there was one in Audubon. They're all closed.
Oh, man. Already?
That sucks.
Yeah, there's only 15 Ground Round locations left and none in our area. The closest is Brookhaven, New York.
All right, so in 1970, in the 1980s, things started going downhill for the Hojos, though this last Howard Johnson standing had the name. It was actually an old franchise that had been turned into, quote, the Lake George Family Restaurant in 2015. When the lease transferred to a new owner, he chose to call it Howard Johnson's. But its only connection to the chain was the name. It had no direct link to the infamous Orange Roof restaurants. Still, it was the last restaurant with that iconic name. So it was kind of sort of the last Howard Johnson's.
Do you remember when, like, you were growing up in your town, you'd have a place that used to be a fast food place and the building would stay the same, and another... Like, so it'd be like a natto bell, instead of a Taco Bell.
Well,
you
see a whole bunch of Wawas that are like, clearly that was a Wawa.
Casey, there's an Instagram account and I think it's called formerly a Wawa, and it's all of those buildings, and they look still very much like a Wawa.
Because they stopped that design as a model.
Exactly,
They really, most of them now are Preston, I forgot to mention to you.
What?
I've mentioned the plight of my Germantown Wawa, which is, it's not designed well, and it's really old. It's one of the last of the standalones. A massive remodel is taking place. However, I don't think they're doing my idea, which was to turn it around and make it larger. But a massive refurb, and I believe they heard me mention it and decided to go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my guess.
You were the motivation.
I'm hoping, yeah.
Nice. All right, well, this is just kind of an end to an era, and it's always sad to see something that happen, especially when FDR was behind it like he was, wanting to get all those
Slit hot dog rolls and a place for hookers to do their business.
That's the future
of
America, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there are a lot of people texting in that there are a number of friendlies that are still around.
All right.
But they're here and there, so you'd have to look that up with the things.
So if
and the
you're
ice
looking
cream
for a
and the desserts.
subpar grilled cheese.
Subpar grilled cheese?
I will tell you this. Friendlies, what I liked about the burgers and stuff is that they butter the roll, the bread, a little bit of butter.
It's good. Add some love to it.
Kind of thing.
All right, we need to take a break. We're going to do that. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't forget, we'll ask a lesson question a little bit later on, so make sure you're paying attention, and we will return shortly.
WMMR.
I had that backwards.
Let me do this again. And now, the commercials.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Oh, man.
So the Kardashians won big as well last night, and they had a weird speech. They were trying to thank firefighters and stuff, and they actually...
Really?
They actually made their win a tribute to the firefighters. And listen, see if you can hash this out. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's been a really rough week in our home in Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and our neighbors in Thousand Oaks and Malibu. Our hearts are broken from the horrific shootings and those who have lost their lives and homes, as well as the hundreds of thousands of us that have been evacuated from the devastating fires that are currently burning. So thank you so much to all of the people that have voted for us. This is such an honor.
Did you make that leap there? Did you make that leap?
Okay.
There's a lot of fire out there, but thank you for voting for us.
Are they dedicating the award?
It gets to that at the end, yeah.
All right.
I'd like to dedicate this win to all of the firefighters, the law enforcement, and the first responders.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I'd like to thank the people what put out the fires.
Like, it just doesn't seem very genuine ever when it comes from them.
You can see the guys who are really, eating smoke and battling flames up. I got great news, guys! Kardashian was dedicated to us!
Like, I can just see them sitting around, like, when we win, we should, like, dedicate to somebody so it makes us look good.
Listen, I want to tell everyone up there on the mountain, you guys doing a great job. The Kardashians just donated their win to you, and I feel sorry for it. I just want to carry that into the fire with you.
That's the chief going on the radio to tell all the guys.
Attention everyone, Kardashians just donated their win on the People's Choice Awards to you, so I hope that inspires you to go marching into those flames and that super heat and that whipped up win. No word on Little Women LA yet.
Yeah. No. During the final night of the Experience and Innocence tour in Berlin, Bono made a comment that has fans fearing that this is the end of the iconic band. He said, "We've been on the road for quite some time, just going on 40 years, and this last 4 years have been really something very special for us. We're going away now." So that led people to think that maybe the band is done.
Doesn't mean that the band is breaking up or that we're going away or stopping performing. We're just taking a well-deserved trip to the Great Wolf Lodge. Where parents can drink while their kids ride down water slides.
It is amazing there.
It is amazing. Kathy says it's amazing too.
Yeah. Well, none of the kids would recognize you two, so they could be pretty, they could be in obscurity for a moment.
You can literally drink in the pools there.
You can literally drink in the pool and piss in the pool at the same time. If it's so chlorinated, it doesn't make a difference. I took a full level bowel movement and no one could tell because the water was so chlorinated, it just ate it right up. All the fecal matter dispersed.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
What's that?
That's, no.
Oh, you did it as well, Kathy?
No, that's
You dropped a bomb in the pool? You popped a landmine out?
That's not.
You put a depth charge in the deep end?
A full level bowel movement.
And no one was the wiser. Even the edge was standing right next to me. He was totally enveloped in my poop cloud and had no idea.
No idea.
That's a quality pool there.
Yeah,
I think most people, upon moving into a house, remove all the demonic paintings. It's part of the deal. A lot of people will change the pentagram carpet for maybe like a light shag.
We had our house built. I like the fact that we're the very first people to own the home.
But are you?
Because
on an Indian graveyard, right? That's where you.
Yeah. They didn't remove the graves.
You know what? We had to blast to actually get to pour the foundation. So I'm pretty certain there was nothing below.
So it was
where
a lot
it was.
of fun.
So what's that?
It was a blast.
It was a blast.
Yes, where you saw bones flying and pieces of coffin.
But I like the fact that when we're done and gone, or when we eventually decide to move on, that that was we made that. We had a say in how that thing was put together. And
in here was where the owner was caught pleasuring himself by his wife, unaware that the light from his laptop was obscuring his vision. Follow me into the observatory.
I was wearing headphones too. I didn't hear her come in. Kathy shakes her head.
Headphone, like you were all in.
Oh, hey, you can't do that half-ass, man.
No. Clearly.
You gotta go all in.
He was vigorously providing himself with pleasure. His wife called out to him, but he could not hear because he was listening to his headphones. And here is the pool table, where pool is seldom played, but clothing is for.
My daughter and I played pool the other night.
Oh, there you are.
First time in a while. She asked me to, but yes, it's become a laundry table. Oh my God! Yeah, what are the other wonderful things? What are the other
as they lead the tour?
Horrible things that have happened.
one stays in this house after night.
The dining room where no one eats, they drink, right? Isn't there a bar in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's not forget the old house with the haunted litter box.
It was on a rainy night when the owner awoke from many hours of drinking and raised a shotgun to the automatic kitty litter cleaner, yelling out, "I want to see you."
I've got a gun.
I've got a gun. I gave him 10 seconds to get out of the house. Which I thought was,
We should all design haunted tours of our current houses. Dumb crap.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
My brother thinks my house is haunted. He's said that since the day we've moved in.
No
he said
kidding?
there's somebody that lives here with you.
Wait, your country house?
Yeah, my
Really?
current house. Yeah, since the day that my brother lived
You're the
with me
first owners.
for a little while, and he said he's like I hear them. He goes they walk around.
Wait, did you have the house built?
Yes.
Okay, so you're the first owner.
We are the first owner. There was a house.
Place is too clean.
No, but Preston, there was a house there that was knocked down.
Okay.
And actually, the man who has since passed away, he was a wonderful man, lived across the street from
I
me.
hope you rot in hell.
No, well, he did the masonry work on the house. And he told me one time, he goes, yeah, when they were tearing down that house, he goes, I sat outside and watched. He goes, I did, all of that work on the house. And I was like, oh my God,
man.
I'm so sorry.
So now it's haunted by Slender Man-thy.
Yeah, so it's...
Slender Man-thy.
I mean, I think it's just the house settling, but my brother thinks it's haunted.
Slender Man-thy.
Do these jeans make me look hippie?
Big J.O.
Yes.
Hey!
That's right, everyone. I'm here. I'm not Miss August or December.
No.
I don't know, Kathy. Any of that traffic, did it seem like something that would have kept Miss December out of here?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know where she was coming from.
Hey,
Did any of that traffic add up?
Were you here one time before when we rolled out the calendar?
He was.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
was
we
here for a
were.
calendar. I was here for Philadelphia's hottest trans.
Really?
Yeah.
right. You
Did we do that? I totally forgot.
Yeah, Philadelphia's sexiest lady boy.
You guys met, right? You guys got to hang out after.
So I've never seen more women in a room and not a pube for miles. I can guarantee it.
There was a weird situation we had you in, right?
It was his friend.
Yes,
Yeah, it ended up being a weird situation for my friend.
But stories to tell your children.
Yeah. I mean, we all found at the same time, and I don't remember what time it was, but it was definitely too late.
That's awesome.
I noticed that, and I said to you right away, you look like you've lost some more weight. And is it a bigger guy who has lost weight? Do you get tired of hearing that?
No, not at all.
Good.
I'll take it. I tried so hard. Yeah, I did. Every time I do a television thing, I'm like, well, this is probably the last time they're going to let me on television. So I should try to get one where I... it's already bad enough I do comedy sitting on a stool. So every time when I did my hour special on Comedy Central, I had already lost a bunch of weight to get to that size. And then sitting on a stool, every time they film you, you're like, this camera guy hates me. Yeah, this guy doesn't like me at all. Is that a pile of tires sitting on? So I knew for the Netflix special, I knew that I was going to be sitting again. So I tried again to lose weight. Yeah. And then, I didn't lose that much, but then I also learned how to sit with my back arch.
There you go.
Oh, you're doing all the cheats. Yeah.
And I covered my nipples with suds. I guess some people stole my idea. That's cool. That's all right. I said everyone jump in.
It's funny because it happens. This is why we're on radio. I mean, Kathy and Marissa obviously are they're pleasant to look at, but we are not. And when we do any TV or anything, I'm like, dear God, do we look horrific? And people say, there's a different angle. There's some people, we've had actors and actresses come in here, they know their angle. They know, what's the best way to
Their
for them to
side.
be their side.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
I think if you ask those things, it makes me feel like I'm admitting too much bad about myself.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, Donna, can you not film me from, I don't know, obviously sideways and from the floor, please?
What we've been talking about news-wise, you familiar with this this scam that took place, this GoFundMe?
Oh, yeah.
So they came by.
Never try to help one bum.
They came by last year. They came by our Camp Out for Hunger right after that story broke, and we interviewed all three of them on the air. And we got word of this yesterday that the three of them were in on this together.
In cahoots.
Oh my
All of them in cahoots,
God.
and then the one who wasn't getting enough money, the guy who was the homeless guy, he goes to take them to court.
Yeah,
and that's
Tries
how
to sue him.
It
To
goes
sue
to
him
sue
for not giving him his part of the scam.
Yes, of the stolen money.
Never help one bum. You ever try to give a homeless guy food? They look at you like you're handing them a bag of someone's dump. It's really, they're like, what am I going to do with this? Like you're like, eat it. It's hot. It's food, and they're like, what? They're so baffled by it. Do a GoFundMe for like an overall like shelter or something. Like to give it to.
There you go.
I've never seen that work out good where you help one person.
With everything else going on, the show and everything, what's coming up for you? It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, pretty much just did the radio show's been doing great on Sirius XM, so pumping that out in the podcasts.
By the way, Dan they were interviewing for something. They sent it over to us, and he was very complimentary about the show. You guys are always very complimentary when you're on other shows. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
getting the word out.
Oh yeah, for you guys. Yeah, you guys are. I always think it's the coolest thing. The best nod you guys get is Joe Rogan, who needs no press anywhere he goes, always like shouts you guys and still gives you guys the
it's
nod.
awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
It means the world to us. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw Opie from Opie and Anthony sent like a kind of wrestling promo for him not doing his show. Did you see that on the street?
No.
Oh, it's very uncomfortable.
Oh. It never understood those dynamics. It was never anything that we got involved with. You just try to do the best. It's like what you do. You just do
your show.
Do your show.
We tried to start a radio war with Bob and Tom, but then they disbanded.
That's a shame.
Bob and Tom. You for the Bob and Tom have been around for a long. Well, used to be around for a long time.
They're garbage.
Keep it up.
They're junk.
Yeah, I'm like, and I look
it's the worst radio show I've ever done.
Really? Why?
They want you to do bits.
It's a yuck fest.
And I mean, and I was like, yeah, you don't want me to do bits. Like, my bits are too. And they go, well, that's how it works here. I go, well, I'll leave. Like, it's fine. And they go, we need you to do bits. I go, well, what do you want me to do? The one about this, and I'm just saying like vile things.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to do bits, it's gonna be like I can't. I'm like a dirty comic.
It's gonna be bad.
Hey, do the latest bit about your daughter. That.
Yeah. They got the things people when the hate mail I've gotten for that Netflix special, like the things people have to write to like when someone has to cite the parts they don't like, it is so funny reading that.
Oh my God! Oh, that has to be worth it alone.
He thinks there's humor and about his daughter's genitals. I'm like, why? How can you write that?
Does that bother you?
No, you know what's funny? I said it to someone. I ignore it all, but like the thing is, it doesn't bother me. It just I do still get an emotion, like involuntary.
Okay.
When someone writes like this ruined my day, boycott Netflix and all these hashtags will start about it, and you're just like, I swear to you, the intention of this was just to make you laugh. Understanding it might make some people go, it's not my thing. But that's fine. But when someone's like, they have such like hatred for, and I said that what's funny is the complaint is always very personal.
Yeah.
Like I've done nothing personal. I've just made like a broad spectrum joke that somebody can twist to make it. He's talking about this. And
so we've had sometimes we're good. We don't get bombarded, but occasionally, like if someone will complain about something that I've done, I say, okay, but everyone has a personal thing that's their thing. You made fun of this, but did you laugh at this? But I
did point that out. I wrote back to one person, and I was like, I'm not going to write back to anything else.
Yeah.
But the person
if the person is thoughtful, you'll do it.
Well, the transgender joke was the one that caught some heat, which I saw coming. And then someone said where I made a joke about wishing it was legal to beat your children, but with like a focused reason, not just like crazy abuse.
Yeah.
Once again, it's like a joke. And someone wrote, as a victim of domestic abuse, it was like as a victim of domestic abuse, I don't think it's appalling you would make a joke about that. And when I wrote back, I was like, again, that has nothing to do with what my joke's about. And I was like, sorry that happened to you. But I was also like, isn't it interesting that you complain about that only and like the other complaints I got were about this trans joke? And I go, and both of you only complained about the thing that affected you personally.
Right. Some of it's, charity request or, a variety of things. And sometimes they're promotional items and then people send us things.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I got, or at least the show did, a package, and it's actually kind of pretty. It's this purple packaging here.
Is it kind of like is it like a Mylar?
Shiny, yeah, something like that. And it is from an organization called Smell My Thongs.
All right.
Oh.
And it says, fresh thongs direct to you, freshly worn and sealed. Guaranteed freshness, discreet and secure. And it says, number of days worn, 2.
Dear God. It's
and worn by a lunch lady.
Inspector number 69. Order number 9, it says your 10th order is free. And I'm just reading all this stuff. It says 100% authentic. Satisfy your needs. The world's largest marketplace for used thongs. Smellmythongs.com. And it is actually...
Are they looking for wholesalers?
The postage is from Canada.
Okay, that's where you would expect.
But these stamps aren't... they normally put a print like an ink print.
Sure.
But I don't see an ink print on it.
I don't know what the story is. Now, it's hermetically sealed, basically, it looks like.
Oh, no, there's a little piece of lace hanging out the
Let me
back.
see. Can I hold it up?
Oh, rip off.
I think it's supposed to be that way.
Oh, is that? All
All
right.
right, so let's open it up.
All right.
All right.
And I think, Kathy, you should do the honors.
Oh, dear God.
I think you should smell them.
I will.
No, see, this is just a little piece.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought
just to make it
you would
look
breach the
sexy.
seal if that was hanging out.
It's a little tease.
2 days worn guaranteed, right?
Let's see here. Sorry to disappoint you. No dirty thongs in here, but whoever delivered this to you now thinks you are weird. Oops, haha. And then there's a note that says, sorry to bother you at work.
Oh, that's really good.
And then on the back it says, just a prank, bro.
I
That's
love it.
cute.
That's pretty funny.
I like
That's a
that.
good prank.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, who wouldn't open it?
Well,
though,
by the way,
really?
there are services that do that.
Yeah.
There are, we reported on them. There are services that deliver used underwear, worn lingerie, and all that stuff. So I like that, though. That's good.
Hold on, there's a scratch and sniff thing. Oh,
What is it?
Disgusting.
I didn't even.
Was it
scratch
liquid ass?
Hang on, no, hang on a second here. It just smells bad. I don't know what that is. All right, and then there's a scratch. It says scratch and get 15% off your first order. So I need
Need a
something to
pen?
scratch. No, this will work.
Hey, wait a second. So that gets sent through the mail. And stop and think about it.
It's not working.
No one would want that. If they were a procurer of used and worn thongs, you wouldn't want your mail deliverer, your postal carrier to know that's something you get.
Well, that's, I think, the point of
That's
all of
the
this.
joke, right?
All right, here you go. Use code payback at checkout. Oh, and then you get 15% off. So
Like
that's
my used diaper service. It's very discreet.
Okay, that was fun. Thank you, whoever sent that.
Whoever you are.
Admit it. You were
I'm sorry.
you were kind of looking forward to seeing what they smelled like.
Casey, I didn't have your microphone on. Casey is still at home, by the way, homesick, so he's doing that.
He's making thongs.
I didn't know if you wanted to check in on that or not.
Yeah. No. I was just glad that I wasn't there when you opened the package. I didn't trust it.
You didn't trust it? No.
Anthrax?
No, I wasn't sure.
Oh, I get
what to
questionable mail,
expect, but that was good.
mail almost every day here.
You've got we won't go into the specifics, but you've got to see some. Well, for a while we were getting, when we asked the question, can you send anything through the mail?
I thought that was fun.
With proper postage on it.
Yeah. So
it turns out pretty much you can.
Yeah.
All you have to do is slap postage and an address, and you can send things like we got a coconut. I mean, not put in a box. And we had a shelf.
Yeah, we got truck nuts.
But we had truck nuts that were sent.
So
there's tons of stuff.
I had not used them a lot, so I sent my used anal beads to my brother.
Okay.
And just put stamps on each little bead.
Like new. Yeah.
Like new.
Lightly used.
Yeah,
Hey,
lightly
Press-
used. Distressed, as they say.
Yeah.
Press, I have to ask you something because I haven't been able to get to the UPS store. I'm supposed to send. I rented a wetsuit to do the swim here over the weekend, and so they sent me a self-addressed envelope to send it back, right? So I can't, I'm supposed to be quarantined, whatever. So you own wetsuits, right?
I did. I don't have them anymore, but yeah.
Claire does.
Oh, okay.
You wear it and then send it back?
Well, so Kath, I have this option to keep it and pay and buy it, but I don't know if the price is like a good price for the wetsuit. So for like $150, I can buy the wetsuit, or I can send it back.
And you
just for the.
I mean, so I'll tell you this.
Is that a lot?
I don't know. Have you gone on and compared prices and looked online?
No. I thought maybe I just asked you guys because I was just thinking of it right now.
I buy Jace wetsuits. Case, I buy Jace wetsuits for when he surfs. $150 to me doesn't sound terrible. I mean, it's a little expensive, but it's not terrible.
Okay.
And I'm buying a kid one.
I'm like, so here's how lazy I am, Kathy. I'm thinking about buying it just so I don't have to freaking send it back.
Yeah, but chances are you might do another swimming event where you might want to use that. Although you didn't like the way it fit, right?
Well, and that's the question. Like, so I was, I started to panic about 150 meters into my swim. And I don't know if it was because I was actually coming down with COVID and I was having problems breathing, or if it was because the wetsuit was so tight on me,
right?
Because I really started to panic a little bit. So, but like at this, I didn't know at that point I had COVID at the time.
Either way, just send it back, because even if it didn't do anything to you and had nothing to do with the sweatsuit, it's just it wasn't a good experience. Send it back, get a new one.
Well, I would
next
say
time.
you will like it, but why don't you bring it to the wetsuit tailor? They'll take it out for you. It's an old guy with a measuring tape and a snorkel.
Wait,
it was crazy because I go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was mistaken. Send it back. That's a lot of money.
Okay.
All right. So
$150 is a lot of money.
What are you seeing them priced at?
Okay.
Well, I just looked up the one that I got, Jason. I thought it was like closer to like $70, $80. No, it was $30.
Well, he's half the size.
No.
I know,
Preston.
but that's what I'm saying. So for a kid, I was thinking it was like $70, $80. So 150 wouldn't be that bad. But no, the one that I bought was $30. So 150 for an adult, that seems a lot.
I think that price is actually pretty good because I bought a wetsuit for my wife who does dive fairly, at least once or twice a year. And it seemed to be around that cost. Casey, it's also the temperature of the water, obviously. People think, it's going to, it's 70 degrees, it's 72 degrees, it's going to be wonderful. No, it'll still feel very cold.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, so Monahan, who is a resident surfer at the station, he said that's a good price if it's a full 3.2 millimeter wetsuit. They go for like $90 up. So.
All right.
Well, he's the guy to listen to for sure.
Who do you trust more, Kathy or Greg?
Yeah. Greg.
Amazon or Greg.
All right. Anyway, glad we got that resolved.
All right.
Hey, this was an interesting story and a little disappointing to hear. But Las Vegas chapels, their love of using Elvis Presley's likeness could be coming to an end. The licensing company that controls the name and image of the king is ordering Sin City chapel operators to stop using Elvis in themed ceremonies. It's one of the only reasons to get married in Las Vegas.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It seems to me crazy that it's gone on this long.
Yeah.
And they haven't done anything. But now when people go to get married in Vegas, what's the first thing you ask?
Yeah.
At an Elvis chapel?
To do an Elvis chapel. Authentic Brands Group sent cease and desist letters in early May to multiple.
Come on, man, it's kind of crazy.
Multiple chapels, which are expected to be compliant by now. I wanted to do that when Rochelle and I had our 20th anniversary, or maybe it was I think we had talked about doing at our 10-year anniversary,
right?
That we wanted to do an Elvis chapel thing. We ended up not doing it, but the idea of it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, who just recently did it? Wasn't it Kourtney Kardashian and
Travis Barker?
Yeah, it was kind of a half-assed thing, but they did it.
Yeah.
So when does stuff like that become public domain? Like if you, and this, I'm just making like a weird example, but like if you wanted to go get married at a George Washington chapel.
That's right, man. My name's George Washington, man. I tell you what, man, it's the first person and everything, man.
Right, and
it's a new country, man. We're going to make it our own, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what he sounded like.
That's right, man.
I think that's allowed,
Was that
right?
Nick? Was that the one that said one if by land, two if by sea?
No, that was Paul Revere.
Yeah, I knew that, man.
Yeah. Well, look at you got wooden teeth though.
Yeah, I
don't
do,
you,
man.
Yeah.
I got to watch out for termites when I eat, man, because they just take those suckers right out.
I never
understood.
understood.
Floss, I sand.
I never understand the legality of any of these types of things. There's that I don't know if it's still there, but on South Broad Street, there's that Bambi dry cleaner place, right? And
man, that's an animated cartoon, man. Bambi's mother got killed, right, man?
That's right. It was very sad. Yeah, she got shot.
And then Thumper, man, that was like one of my boys.
So I think for whatever reason,
like Red.
Disney never came down. But I also think like you can sing certain songs without it being copyright infringement. It works its way into the public domain. So I would think at some point Elvis would work his way into public domain.
Elvis, do you remember what the skunk's name was in Bambi?
What was that?
That was Flower.
Flower, that's right, man. It's ironic, right?
Yeah.
It's so irony, man. It's like having a fly in your Chardonnay.
Don't you think?
It's like 10,000 spoons. All he needs a belt buckle.
I ain't nothing but the father of the country.
How did we get here? With Elvis so closely tied to Vegas' wedding industry, some say that the move could decimate their business. Clark County clerk
Claire Clappadop,
Lynn Goya, who led a marketing campaign promoting Las Vegas as a wedding destination, said that the order for chapels to stop using Elvis couldn't have come at a worse time for the sector.
There's my guess is they're going to move heaven and earth to make this happen. Even if the city has to license, these places, because that is a main tourist draw.
Well, I was going to say, like, as long as they stop using his name.
My name is George Washington, man. That's right.
By the way, so the Vegas wedding industry generates $2 billion a year. So
it's like a billion, man.
Whoa, dude, what about Rocky weddings? Oh my
there
God.
We go. Yeah.
We should do that here.
Yes. My name is George Washington. Father of the country. One if by sea, two if by car.
Dude, we should start Rocky weddings in Philadelphia. That could become a thing here.
It's an obvious.
Oh.
Every area should embrace whatever they're known for.
And it could be a few different.
You know what, Press? You should have kept that to yourself.
Nah, so let somebody else do it. I'll let somebody else
do a
have
quick
that.
check, Nick, and see if it already exists. I would be amazed if someone hasn't seized upon that.
Yeah. And like, he wouldn't mind marrying you much neither.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, he's using all the lines.
Did anyone hear what not see that they be forever together, united forever? Speak your tongue or hold your faith.
Speak your tongue or hold your face. I love that idea. I wonder if that has happened before. Well, Nick found that Amanda and Pedro had a Rocky-themed wedding.
Yeah, so there are examples of it, and on Pinterest there is a list of 300 inspired weddings from fictional accounts, including Elvis and including Rocky.
Okay, so was the officiant dressed as Rocky?
It doesn't say. It's just got pictures of them at their wedding cake holding up the fists like they're about to fight.
I'm sure that guy that stands by the statue and takes photos will do anything that you would like him to.
The guy that stands by the photo and takes statues and takes photos?
He stands by the Rocky statue and takes photos.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an impersonator.
Oh,
He's
he
a
looks
Rocky
like
impersonator.
someone?
Yes.
I'm George Washington.
Founder of our
I
nation.
threw a boxing glove across the Delaware.
I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand why anybody would want to get a picture of a person dressed up like you see it at Times Square all the time.
Case,
you know,
it's
lady
part of the
walks up
cheesy.
dressed up like
Yeah, no, you're right. And they did a whole thing about it. A number of shows have about some of them are the rattiest costumes, but it doesn't matter. It becomes this kitschy thing.
Yeah.
If you like that naked cowboy that's in Times Square, that singing cowboy, whatever the hell his name is, he's the guy smells and he's. But that's his living. That's what he does. But in this case,
at least he's original.
Well, true.
But
The Elvis thing, I think, is going to be a serious issue if they.
At the art museum, though, the line is so long to get a photo, so
Really?
it's just entertainment. Yeah, Steve, it is
Wow.
long
At the
sometimes.
statue.
So it's
okay,
yeah.
Yep.
But with in Vegas, all they have to do is like, hey, get married by the king of rock and roll, or like
No.
have
So
a
even that,
Jailhouse Rock even.
Nope. Yep. So the letter also said Elvis Presley, King of Rock and Roll are all protected trademarks. Yep. So one chapel last weekend, though, had its Elvis impersonator change instead into a leather jacket, jeans, and a fedora for a rock and roll themed ceremony.
Hello, folks. I'm Thomas Jefferson.
Gene Simmons?
Our third president.
Listen, Gene is already in Vegas. They've been doing a residency there anyway, so why not? He dresses up as one of our founding fathers. Graceland Wedding Chapel, which performs 6,400 Elvis-themed weddings per year.
I didn't know Jefferson had huge snake boots.
Has not been served a warning yet, according to the manager, Rod Musum. Authentic Brands oversees the estates of big names like movie star Marilyn Monroe and Muhammad Ali, and 50 consumer brands as well. So they're a pretty big
I
entity.
watched a documentary, Preston, on businesses that handle these states. So whether it be John Wayne or any of the celebrities that have passed, or even celebrities that passed recently, and it is a cutthroat industry.
Yeah,
I mean, so they have really a lot of their money comes from hiring lawyers and people to scour the internet and to scour, just any trade thing to see if there's been an infraction, and then they zero in and go for the money.
Absolutely. Now I've got my mind working on this Rocky wedding thing. We should do that at Camp Out for Hunger. We had a mass wedding one year. We and we could do a Rocky wedding.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great. And at the end, we have like a big running.
You know what?
Running up the steps of the Wells Fargo Center or something.
We can make him
enough steps, but
but there's like two.
We can change the spelling. We can make it instead of Rocky, Iraqi.
Iraqi wedding?
Rocky wedding.
What'd you say? You figure it out.
Your wedding's getting off to a rocky
I think they'll
start.
let us. I think
Or
they'll
Ricky.
let us because they do the Rocky Run, or they used to. They still do that.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So
I'm the father of your country.
we could.
Oh, man.
That's why I talk like this. Contrary to popular perception, George Washington's my teeth were not made out of wood.
No, they were made of ivory, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just a myth.
It's a myth.
So is the chopping down of the cherry tree and all
I
those.
chewed it down.
You what?
I chewed it
You
down.
chewed it down with your ivory
With
teeth.
my ivory teeth, like a friggin' beaver. Not like a vagina.
Oh, okay. No.
I mean, couldn't we call it like a very Rocky wedding and just put Rocky in quotes and not capitalize it?
Sure.
I think we'll be fine. I think we can do it just calling even.
How about
straight up-
Philadelphia Associated Prize Fighter?
Okay, we can do that too. But maybe it would get the attention of Stallone himself, and we have him come down and
if he comes down to sue us, that would be the way to get his attention.
Yeah. Can we have everybody
And
dress up?
Marriage on the Rocks.
Yeah,
Marriage on the
Rockies.
Can we encourage everyone to dress up like Rocky and Adrian?
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
All right.
I want to dress
like
up
this.
as Butkus.
I like this. Butkus could be the witness.
That's right. The ring dog.
And Paulie could be your drunk uncle at the reception.
Marissa just met Burt Young.
Oh, he's so old.
Yeah.
He was so sweet that he came and did that. I mean, I got one question to him, and it was just like talking to your grandfather, he just kind of nodded, and he's like, "Yeah,
He seemed very
it was
nice.
fun." Oh, he was so sweet.
Are you the one who's going to bathe me? No, this is a movie premiere.
We could do. We could hand out rantlers to everyone that they could wear.
You throw rantlers instead of rice.
Yeah,
the Rantler bearer.
I love that. Yes.
I want what they want.
Oh wait, that's Rambo.
Which is a slice
That's Rambo.
of cake.
Yeah.
We could do that. Rambo takes place in Philadelphia, doesn't it?
Well, no, but
I want what they want.
we could have Steve. So Rocky officiates the wedding. Rambo's the DJ at the reception, and Cobra's got to fit in Cobra's parking cars.
That's right.
What were you driving?
So anyhow,
Here's a disease. I'm Curado.
in the cease and desist letter for these chapels to stop using Elvis Presley, the company said that it will halt unauthorized use of Presley's name, likeness, voice, image, and other elements of Elvis Presley's persona in advertisements, merchandise, and otherwise.
Hey, did they give a guesstimate as to how many chapels currently employ the Elvis service?
No, I don't know how many they do that, but they are able to. The Graceland Wedding Chapel alone does 64 weddings a year. 64.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 6,400 weddings a year.
I was like, okay, that's one for. Do they conduct? It's been a long time since I've been to Graceland. It's been forever since I've been to Graceland. Are there Elvis chapels around Graceland?
And maybe in Memphis, there might be.
Maybe in Memphis?
I would think that would be a no-no in Memphis. I would think.
Yeah, because you're going to pay your
dragging
respects.
Elvis's name around in a fun way is probably frowned upon in that.
I mean, there's a museum.
I've never been there.
That's not the way you treat the first president of the United States.
No. There's the mansion, and then right across the street from the mansion is this really cool museum, and it's where the I think it's a 737 or his jet is there
that he would send out to get fried nana sandwiches.
The TCB, and then you can do this whole museum where you walk a mile in Elvis's shoes, and it's a really neat place to visit. But Preston, I think you're right. Like, I don't think there's any chapels around that are Elvis-based chapels.
So you've been there before?
Yeah, I've been twice.
Okay,
it's an amazing spot.
And Steve,
I have
once or more than once?
Years ago when I was doing stand-up, and the thing that impressed me about it, Preston, is how kind of unimpressive the house itself is.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I mean, for its time, it was considered a palatial place, but to today's standards, it's
ain't another man.
not that big of a deal.
Father of our nation.
Yeah.
That's right, man.
Case, you ever been to Graceland before?
No, you know what? We were actually going to go for spring break my senior year of college, and then about 5 days out, we realized that everything around Graceland is a complete and total pit, so we decided to not go at all.
Okay.
No, Memphis is a cool city. There's like Beale Street on Memphis is really neat, and listen, Casey, it's
Welcome
probably
to Memphis, man.
It's not a vacation destination for more than a couple of days, but Graceland's a really cool place to visit. I highly recommend it.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow, they're gonna stop the Elvis weddings in Vegas. That's unfortunate. That's,
I would like to follow this story because I can't imagine they're going to work out some sort of deal. It's completely associated with Vegas.
Yep. And
with the new movie coming out, I wonder if this is why it's top.
That's a good point.
Good question. And there was like a 10-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes, for the Baz Luhrmann film. Yeah.
Hang on a second. Let me go to. I got Lou. I don't know if this is who's Lou, but Lou, are you there?
Bay Hitches.
Hey, Bay Hitches. All right. So you wanted to comment on the Elvis chapels in Memphis?
Yeah, sorry, Casey. It's not your Who's Lou there, honey. But my brother and I went there a few years back, and we did Graceland, and then we did go to the museum across the street there, which is amazing. You could see everything this guy's owned. One of the big things is don't touch anything. So what does my brother do? Touch his catalog, set off the alarms.
Yeah.
But then after that, we get kicked out. We figured, all right, let's go see if there is an Elvis chapel to go get married at and see if they would marry us as two brothers who decide they'd like to be married. Not a single one in sight. It is definitely not something they have in that vicinity.
Yeah, I think because it's a little bit more religious, too, they would see it as being, I don't know.
Yeah,
improper.
sacrilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wrong, man.
Don't you miss a little bit the whole Elvis is not dead thing?
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, my God, that he was still around. I remember one of my favorite covers of the National Enquirer. Do you remember that?
Filling up gas?
Yeah.
Yes, it was the best. I remember that one.
It was the best.
He's got like a half smile on his face.
That's right, man. This thing's sucking up the gas, man.
They were literally, and Marissa, you're probably too young to remember it, or do you remember?
Oh, I remember like Jim Morrison, and then it was like Tupac and Biggie. Are they dead?
Yeah. So, but Elvis was this thing, but they were like, unlike the Jim Morrison thing, there was just a mystery as to whether he had died or not. Elvis was like living among us, like he would be spotted in places.
Well, do you remember in Death Becomes Her? Which is about, becoming eternal, but you had to sort of, fake your death, and Meryl Streep, and they have a big ballroom scene, and Elvis is standing there, adding in, to that legend that he's still alive and amongst us. And every year they would show a picture of what would he look like this year, and so on and so forth.
And I remember being caught up in that stuff, and just the tiniest, itty bitty, minute percentage of me went, maybe he's not dead.
And then his face would appear in toast. What's that?
Yeah, Jerry Glanville was a coach in the NFL for a number of years, and before every game he would coach, he left a pair of tickets for Elvis Presley at the box office.
Oh, that's great.
Just in case he was still alive. Yeah.
That's great.
That is great.
Wow.
It's like from is it Ted Lasso? Isn't that
Oh, he leaves on, or Ricky Bobby. Left
that's
him for
it?
his
That's
dad.
it, right? Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Going back to weddings in at Graceland, let me go to Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Love you, love your show.
Thank you
we
so
love
much,
you.
Stephanie. What's up?
Just calling to say my friend, actually, best friend got married in Graceland about 2 years ago at the Elvis Mansion. They don't have any Elvis impersonators, but you can get married there at the Elvis Mansion. They have like a little chapel there that.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay, so they have the facility to handle a wedding, but it's not done in the cheesy sort of Vegas Bo Elvis officiant.
Right.
All
Yep.
right.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's kind of cool, man.
Get married at Graceland because he's like buried in the backyard.
That's right, man. Every night I crawl out screaming, and what happened to me?
God.
This is how you treat the father of our country, man. This is Thomas Gene Simmons Jefferson.
By the way, Nick pulled up a series of photos from all of the National Enquirers and Weekly World Newses of Elvis being spotted. Steve, you need to see the one
Come
that's
over
on
here,
his
Steve.
monitor right now.
This is the
It's
best.
Elvis with that. He's bald on top, except for the sides. He's almost got like the Larry Fine from the Three Stooges.
He looks like Frasier.
Oh, that's the best. Oh my God.
That's right, man.
Well, if you were planning on it, it might not happen. The Vegas wedding with Elvis as the officiant. Now, some places are still doing it, but they have been issued cease and desist orders. So.
Well, you could conceivably just rent a hall, hire an Elvis impersonator. But I mean, still, that was such a big draw. I'm curious to see whether or not they hash this out.
Yep. All right. I want to take a break, but as we're doing that, I want to remind you we made an announcement this morning. We're having another Preston and Steve sorority party.
That's right, man.
The ladies of Zeta Eta Pi, the father of our nation, Elvis Presley, will be there for the event.
That's right, man. We're going to do something fun.
So this is going to be
kind of activity, right, man?
Wednesday, June 15th. We're working on an activity.
Something right,
we try to
yeah.
have some type of an activity, but we're trying to get it together from 6 to 8 p.m. in the
Let's
Liberty
chop down cherry trees, man.
in the Liberty Bell Beer Garden at Parks Casino in Ben Salem. So if you're at least 21 years of age and you are female and have a female friend that you can bring, we'll take the next 5 callers at 215-263-WMMR. We will put you on our list and have you indoctrinated into the Sisters of Pop.
I love it.
And we're starting to do events like this again, which is great.
And
So
the sorority parties were some of our favorite gatherings.
they're so much fun. The ladies know how to have a good time.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a moment. Make sure you stay put because we will not be gone long.
That hit them personally, and no one sees that before they start taking to the computer to be like, how can you say this one specific thing? And you're like, you got to either be mad at all of it or none of it.
Right, right.
Well, you're not out to hurt anybody. That's what gets missed.
That's the bummer. That's the bummer when people get upset.
You're trying to make
wow,
people
my
laugh.
thing was to make you laugh.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Understand that you might not laugh, but
So
to have somebody go like, it's inspired you to go write like a 4-page letter to Netflix seems pretty like, it's awesome to some degree.
What kills me, Jay, is that and we always bring this up. Then there's about 45 million other shows on Netflix. Stop watching. Go move on to the next thing.
Really?
Or
I like
don't
you're
listen.
making me look such a bad boy in front of these chicks. Yeah, that's right.
They're lining you up. Yeah.
I was thinking about it on a long ride on my motorcycle the other day. I don't even know how to turn on a motorcycle. I've been on a motorcycle 2 times. Both times we're behind with my arms around a man's waist. And both times I burned my calf on the exhaust pipe. 2 for 2.
2. I think the most telling thing was you said, I don't know how to turn on a motorcycle.
I don't.
Turn on. Is there?
Is that what you do? Do you turn it on?
You start it up.
You can make the sound.
I know there's something where I have to go like that. Right? I don't understand like the thing. It's all like the YouTube celebrity.
No.
A social media celebrity. I don't know how that kind of came out of nowhere. But sometimes like that Post Malone's got a song or two that like you're like. It's producers though. It's smart. That the Cash Me Outside girl. I've gone 180 on her. We went from like just crapping all over to think to I'm almost a fan. I bought a new Explorer yesterday, and you have to name it. You have to nickname it in the Ford app.
Yeah.
And I named it Bad Baby. That's her name. That's her rap name.
I thought it was,
I love her. And
isn't
she's
it Bobby? Like Barbie? Bad Barbie?
No, Bad Baby.
Okay, all right.
Bahad Bahaby.
Okay.
She is garbage, but I love her. I've picked sides in the Whoa Vicky Bad Baby argument.
Well, you know she's fighting now Iggy Azalea.
Yeah. Well, you know Whoa Vicky. You want to put a good side by side? Look at Whoa Vicky and Lamb Chop. Remember Lamb Chop? Sherry Lewis's Lamb Chop. I just really dated myself for all these hot chicks. You guys remember William Cat from America's Greatest Hero? The Greatest American Hero. We on the bonfire we do a thing. There's They Whoa Vicky and some dude she was hanging out with got into they insulted.
They threw shade.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And then came back with an apology. An apology video that's like 30 seconds long, and whenever we have to apologize in the bonfire, we had our producer like verbatim write it down. Their sentences. Can you play it, by Jay?
See if you can look that up. It's Whoa Vicky.
It's Whoa Vicky apologizes Snoop Dogg. It is. There's sentences that go nowhere. It goes, nah, I'm saying, because we don't even know be like when it come then. That's no exaggeration.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Marissa's going to try and search that and bring that audio.
I believe in Marissa. She can do this.
At the end of the day, we respect Snoop Dogg because he a real OG, you know.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop. Like I'm sorry for everything I said. I didn't mean it like that. I make people happy, like do funny videos. That's what I do. And I'm sorry for everything I did. Like towards you and towards everybody that's with your shit, whatever. I'm sorry for everything.
Yeah, for real. Like we really ain't know like what we was saying. Like it was really off of the camera, no cap. Like you know.
All right, it ends there. And by the way, that's like twin speak. By the way, that's
yes,
like
when twins share a language.
Yeah, nobody else knows what the hell they're saying except for those two.
I have no idea what they said in it, but we have it written out. So whenever someone gets mad, and they get mad at us at Sirius a lot, we always gonna go. I like to say to John Fugelsang, you a real OG. I'm sorry for everything I said and what I said be like, because it sometimes be like that, and then you know I ain't know what I says and that stuff and you says. But we just like to say the name. He goes, I'd like to apologize to John Fugelsang. Say, man, sometimes. Our sincerest apologies to Radio Andy.
I love the concept of John Fugelsang being known in the hip-hop community.
John Fugelsang. All right, thank you. Big J. Okerson. Let's hear it from everybody. Thanks, bud.
Love you guys. Thank you so much, man.
The holidays are nigh, and Meghan Markle is about to celebrate her first Thanksgiving and Christmas as a royal. But by all accounts, it's going to be pretty weird.
Sparkle Markle?
Well, first up, Thanksgiving. Some question whether the American-born Meghan will be allowed to celebrate the holiday, seeing as it commemorates that time many English-born pilgrims set forth on a long and dangerous voyage to flee political and religious persecution in their homeland.
I thought she and the royal family were going to go visit with the dad here in the States.
Last year, Meghan celebrated with her mother, Doria Ragland, in California. What's going to happen is to be determined, but the Queen reportedly hasn't forbidden the celebration by royal decree, and Meghan and Prince Harry don't have any events scheduled for the day, so she may be indulging in turkey and stuffing behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Now, for Christmas, meanwhile, we want to hope she doesn't eat too much gravy because, listen to this. I've never heard of this before.
All right.
She will have to be weighed before her Christmas meal, per a juicy new report hailing from the royal expert Ingrid Seward. Apparently, every member of the royal family, including Harry, Prince William, and Kate Middleton, must be weighed before and after dinner on Christmas Day.
All right.
Wait,
after dinner, and do they get to poop first?
I don't know about. But
what is this about, this bizarre thing?
It's a tradition. Okay, apparently the Queen asks guests to weigh themselves to ensure they're being well fed.
Oh, okay.
And once weighed, the guests must enter the dining room in order of seniority. Once seated, the head chef carves the turkey, and paper hats are donned, but not by the Queen. So everybody has to wear
wearing our paper hats, and it's so much fun. Where is the scale so we can see if we've put a lot of food into our tummies? Oh, look at I folded a flap on my paper hat. Oh, what fun.
So much fun.
Yes. Later on, we'll go out to a pit and murder some peasants.
Oh, my God. Damn. I've seen the paper hat thing.
I love Christmas. For the annual slaughtering suffering of the peasants.
In a pit.
In a pit with our paper hats. And the one who catches my paper hat will be spared.
Oh, that's a nice tradition.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Congratulations on your adroit paper hat catching skills.
Oh, my God.
You're free to go.
Now for the rest of them, line up.
Really, the only way to enjoy Lorenzo's Pizza on the whole is to have some assistance. And we are doing that via a dental device, correct? Yeah. Okay, so Casey and Nick are going to put these lip spreaders in. That if you've ever gone to the dentist and you have to get some dental work done, they do this so it pulls your lips up and your cheeks out to the side so they can get in there and work really well.
Yeah.
So it's,
and for eating purposes, Preston, it gives you maximum coverage of the pie.
Yeah, and my favorite is pepperoni pizza.
Your favorite is
pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza.
I like pineapple.
You like pineapple?
Pineapple.
Okay.
I also like mushroom.
Excuse me?
Mushroom.
Mushrooms.
Mushroom. Yeah, mushroom.
All right,
like
so
mushroom.
is this, Preston, the specifics of this contest, are we talking the quickest to eat one slice fully?
I don't know.
I don't know.
How about the entire pie?
Let's just see how it goes.
Let's just see how it goes.
All right.
And we'll see who ate it best.
All right.
Okay. You guys ready?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, lick your lips.
All right, raise your pizza case. Get ready.
We have a split screen shot. By
Dude,
the way, you can watch this on Facebook.
Don't make me laugh.
All right, do what, Marissa? All right, cheers your pizzas.
cheers.
All right, cheers. And
Cheers.
on your mark, get set, and go. All right, here's the first bite.
Oh, my God.
Casey you have to let gravity take effect, right?
Oh my God! Look at Nick. If Nick couldn't get any more gross when he ate.
Because your lips are not assisting.
All right.
I love you, Sarge. I love you. Yeah.
All right.
I love you.
Start eating.
He loves you. He loves you. Nick looks like he. Oh my God.
Don't make.
He can't lick. Nick is laughing his ass off. Oh, my God.
This is
Casey,
disgusting.
do you need something to drink?
I got it.
Okay, you got it? All right, so. Oh, Nick, did you take it out?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. Casey's going to take a drink. It's like a sprinkler.
It's disgusting.
Nick, here's some water if you need it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Preston.
Try not to get any of it on the,
Don't laugh,
on the
Nick,
equipment.
now.
Don't get it on the equipment.
That was. Casey looks like he's looking at a UFO.
Hey, Maris.
Oh, my God.
I don't want him to
Jesus,
knock
it's
that
up
over.
there.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Okay.
Nick's wiping his
He's
mouth.
wiping his mouth.
That's right.
Casey, I noticed
Okay, sir.
you're using the gravity method. You lean back.
Yes. Yeah, this is not her radio.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Nick is leaning forward, which I find kind of wild. All right, now he's tilting back. You got to let gravity take over. This looks like an inspiring story
Oh my God. It's
of
so
two
gross.
guys born without lips.
Oh my God.
It actually, Steve, it looks like the sequel to Hellraiser.
You know what, though?
What?
It's really delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
It's Lorenzo's, of course.
How far along are you guys?
I'm almost done, Steve.
Now, Casey's about halfway. He's eaten more than you think he has. So
We want to do it to completion because I think they might hemorrhage.
I don't know. Case, what do you think?
Don't talk with food in your mouth.
Have more water, Case.
Actually, that'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
So Case is going to get a sip of water.
Kathy, got anything in my teeth?
I'm sorry we're doing such a visual thing on the radio, but this is just hilarious.
This
Casey,
is my favorite sweatshirt.
it's his favorite sweatshirt.
Did you get some on your favorite sweatshirt?
Damn it. It's an absolute mess. I tell you what.
It makes you really appreciate.
Keep going.
Oh, it fell out. There.
I know they kind of slip out every now and then.
What?
I have no
They
idea.
kind of slip out every now and then. They slip out of your mouth.
slip-
Yeah, slip out of there.
Every now and then.
Hey, you say?
Yeah.
My dental.
It doesn't affect your yoga cards.
It doesn't affect your what?
Your yoga cards.
Yeah, your
Your
yoga
yo-
cards.
Yoga cards.
Yoga hearts?
What?
Yoga hearts.
Yoga cards.
Vocal
Your vocal cords.
Oh, I thought you had yoga fans.
All right, keep it going. I think actually Nick is closing in on perhaps
I
finishing.
was so hungry.
Yeah.
I think are Casey's lip spreaders a little bit bigger than Nick's?
Yeah.
No, I think
His lips are almost pulled back to his ears.
I thought maybe Casey's mouth was a little smaller than Nick's, so it looks like that.
Nick is like a wood chipper.
Ew, Nick is drooling all over the place.
You can actually feed full pieces of lumber into Nick's mouth.
Not a delicate flower.
My lip spreaders, I got from a dentist.
He got his lip spreaders from a
This
dentist.
is legit.
All right, we're closing in.
You know what, though? I would pay good money to see Kathy do this, to be honest.
Oh, that,
I would pay
with her perfect teeth.
good money. That's a pair. They're clean. I'm not aware that Elvis was apparently in the movie Home Alone. Did you ever hear that?
I never heard that one.
There's a few texts coming in that apparently there's a scene where he's in the background.
Yeah, at the airport terminal?
Oh, it's at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not aware. I need to see that now because that would be great if he just popped up in there. Casey Boy is joining us remotely from his. I haven't even asked how you're feeling today, man.
I actually feel a little bit better today. Yesterday, I was so worn out. The symptoms that I've been experiencing from COVID, a little bit of a cough, but overall fatigue. And so, what was yesterday? Wednesday. So Tuesday, it actually, I quarantined, but I did a lot of work around the house.
Right.
And then yesterday, I just as soon as the show was over, I laid down all day long.
So you officially tested for the first time?
Anything.
I'm sorry, Casey, you officially tested Sunday, right? Sunday night is when you found out you had it?
No, Monday evening.
Oh, Monday evening.
Monday
Okay.
evening.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's good because it whomps some people and other people,
Yeah,
feel pretty ill.
Rochelle's getting her ass kicked.
getting her ass kicked?
It's been a week now, or tomorrow will be a week, and she's still wiped out. However, she did alert me that she has stopped fart coughing.
Ah.
So that is stopped.
Oh, good.
That's a good
That's
thing.
excellent.
She was coughing so hard that she was ripping them.
Yeah.
While that was going on. So, all right, everybody's on
Well,
the
I'm
menu.
It's funny because a lot of times you cough to cover a fart, right?
Yeah,
Casey?
yeah. That kind of times out. What were you going to say, Case?
No, I was just saying I'm grateful that my cough hasn't been that bad because my neck and shoulders have been hurting. So every time I cough, it really hurts my neck and my shoulders. So, I'm grateful that the cough hasn't been that bad.
Would you like a little massage?
Oh God, I would love
Oh,
one.
yeah, we'll get those
Oh
guys
yeah.
out.
Oh.
All right. Well, he's on the mend. You can listen to him moan and groan while we do the Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, brought to you by Tacos and Tailpipes, man. Charity.
That's right, man.
Car meetup sponsored by Clear, KLYR Rum.
That's what George Washington would want you to do, man.
Tacos and tailpipes.com for more information. All right. Excuse me. Local story. Chester County Emergency Crews said 2 people were injured when a private plane crashed yesterday afternoon in Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
The small Cirrus 22 single-engine plane went down at about 3:30 p.m. at the St. David's Golf Club. Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
It had to land on the golf course. Investigators said that a male pilot and his wife were traveling to Wingsfield and Bluebell from Fort Myers, Florida, with a stop for fuel in South Carolina. The plane reportedly suffered a mechanical failure, and the pilot was able to locate an open area on the course near the 14th hole to make an emergency landing.
Wow.
Did they replace their divots?
I hope so. It's considered good etiquette to do that.
Isn't that where Harrison Ford crashed one of those planes?
It's a golf course, Nick.
Yeah,
It's a country club. That has happened a couple of times. I thought the same thing, but it's an obvious if you're in an area.
Yeah.
Very much so. It's they look for golf courses if they need to have an emergency landing because there's plenty of space. The pilot and passengers were able to get out of the plane with assistance from witnesses who were on the golf course. The couple was taken to the hospital as a precaution. The FAA will be investigating to figure out what exactly went wrong. No golfers were injured in the incident, by the way. A man looking for Frisbees in a lake at a Pinellas County park died after being bitten by an alligator. Detectives believe the man, a 47-year-old named Sean McGinnis, entered the water looking for the plastic discs before he died. Largo police said they believe the man died in the nighttime hours as he did not appear to have been in the lake for a long period of time when his body was discovered Tuesday morning.
This all seems right on the surface. I'm going to go get some Frisbees out of the lake at night. So you're taking every precaution possible.
So a person walking their dog found McGinnis's body along the lake's shoreline. You'll understand why he was going after this, though. Officers said McGinnis was known to frequent the park and enter the lake with disregard to the no swimming signs. He was also known to sell discs back to people within the park where there was a disc golf course.
Well, there you go. That's it's like retrieving balls from a pond.
Exactly.
That's okay. It makes a little bit more sense.
So 2 alligators, 10-foot and 8-foot animals, were captured after they were euthanized, and initial necropsy found no evidence of their involvement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? The deceased, so they killed those alligators for nothing. All right. So, but anyhow, they're trying to. This guy died. An alligator attacked him. So, stay out of the ponds at night in Florida.
Yeah.
All right. The iconic makers of Tabasco recently discovered a painting of the Last Supper, which features a bottle of its original Louisiana hot sauce hanging on the walls of a church near Lafayette, Louisiana.
Was that part of the Last Supper?
May have been. The Last Supper typically depicts Jesus Christ eating with his 12 apostles and is a common scene in the Christian religion, with the most famous version painted by Leonardo da Vinci.
This food is far too bland.
Tabasco sits in front of one of the disciples in the St. Joseph's Catholic Church painting. The church's pastor, Nicholas Dupree, said that he had heard rumors about the bottle when he arrived at St. Joseph's in Parks, Louisiana, in 2019 from a previous pastor. He said, I never really cared to go look for it. That was until Dupree received a letter from Shane Bernard, a curator and historian for the McElhenney Company, which produces the hot sauce in Louisiana, who wrote to Dupree asking if an urban myth that he heard about the painting was true. And Dupree said in a Facebook post, it's no myth, and it featured a picture of Bernard's letter and a close-up of the painting. 2 days later, a large commemorative collector's bottle of Tabasco sauce arrived at Dupree's doorstep. Dupree said that he hasn't decided what he's going to do with the commemorative bottle, but he's considered putting it in a vestibule with some directions for finding the bottle in the painting. The painting was commissioned around 2003 by the Reverend Bryce Sibley. Christy Hebert, the artist, said that Sibley told her not to do an exact replica of the Da Vinci painting. He said he wanted to make it unique to our area. So Sibley, who left the St. Joseph's Church in 2018, said the church needed a facelift when he arrived in 2003, including a new paint and including some new paint and artwork. He said, I've always liked little human elements from different works that I've seen. So I said, well, why don't we insert the bottle? I've been sort of touched by the way that people find the human element of the story so compelling. So
that's pretty wild.
It was his idea.
Yeah.
And it's there, and it's in the church. Isn't that fun? A lion in a Chinese zoo became an instant internet celebrity worldwide after it was spotted with bangs. The viral pictures of the white lion was initially taken by a visitor at the Guangzhou Zoo.
It's the wildest thing you've ever seen. It throws you completely off.
Many had commented that they believed the zookeepers were responsible for the lion's unique hairstyle. This, however, has been denied by the zoo, with zoo authorities saying that they would not dare to cut the lion's mane.
I'm a lion, honey.
The zoo mentioned that the hairstyle was likely caused by humidity in the area. And also, lions groom themselves by licking their fur, which can cause changes in the appearance of their mane over time.
You got to see the picture, Kathy. If Nick can pull it up, it'll kill you.
The mane of the lion is known to alter throughout time, and the mane of an aged lion can get darker, lighter, longer, or shorter. The condition of a lion's mane is usually a sign of the lion's health, such as whether it is young and fit or growing older and weaker.
It looks like it's used straightener and
yes. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's definitely been straightened. Yeah. All right, and then one last story. A video posted to social media shows the tense moments in a fight that broke out at the happiest place on earth during Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
The video that was posted on Twitter on Saturday evening shows multiple people engaging in a fight at the Disneyland Park in Anaheim, while park security officers work to stop the chaos at the family-friendly venue. Nothing like a full-on brawl at Disneyland.
Remember, didn't we have what was the footage last year? I think there was another one of these extended family like riot.
Yep. Terrified onlookers were seen trying to get their children away from the flying fists. In the video, it appears all the people involved in the altercation were captured by security.
Son of a bitch!
A similar incident involving at least 4 relatives occurred in 2019.
That's it.
Within the Mickey's Toontown section of the park in front of children. It's unclear what led to the violent altercation, and no injuries were reported in the incident. And that is all I have in the bizarre file for you for now. We're going to take a break. We're going to get back in a moment. That lesson question I mentioned a little while ago, we'll ask that of you. See if you can answer it. We'll also get trash and music news coming up next. We can do this. All right, she's taking a bite. Let's see.
Look at Kathy's teeth are perfect. Look at
They are perfect. They're absolutely perfect.
This is like that special prom night, Kathy.
How does it taste?
It's stuck.
It's because you can't assist the swallow.
She actually sounds very articulate with that. She's shaking her head to try to get it down into her throat.
Yeah.
And there we go. Nice job, Kath. Not bad at all.
You want some water?
Yeah, I can't believe she did that. Did you guys finish? Casey's finished it.
No, he's not. He cheated. I called no fair.
What did he do?
He threw it in the trash
Oh, he
can.
did.
All right.
Look at this. Look at this, J.O. That's a cheater.
We're going to Secaucus for the film.
Oh.
All right.
Preston, it looks like I pissed my pants.
Yes, it does. Stand up. Let's see that.
There you go.
I pissed my pants.
You did piss your pants. Okay, well, that's, you know what?
Declare a winner, or is this a tie?
I think it's a tie.
All
What do
right,
you guys
here we
think,
go.
right?
I mean, they both did a phenomenal job. Though Casey's human sprinkler impression was quite impressive.
I think you guys should kiss. I really do. I think it's. Oh my God. That is repulsive.
Food all over.
Oh man. You all right, buddy?
Yeah. You know what, though?
What?
I got to take my hair sweatshirt off to reveal my favorite pizza.
Oh, it says Delco. We're happy to have him here, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Rock is here.
That's how I'm coming on stage tonight, right there.
That's your song, right?
That's gonna bring you out on
Take the
stage.
yeah.
I like it, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to Philadelphia.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
of course. You enjoying your butternut squash soup over there?
Butternut squash soup. Who knew?
Yeah. For
Right?
breakfast.
What's the restaurant downstairs? Harvest.
yeah.
Oh my God. Butternut squash. Kind of tastes like sweet potato.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You know, now there's endorsement deals available.
Yes. Hey, I'm Tony Rock here for butternut squash.
Just in general.
Nothing gives you comedy cred like butternut squash.
And this is how you sell it to men. And fellas, she'll dig it too. Have you noticed that? Every commercial, when they want to sell something to men, it's like, it'll do this, energy, vitality, whatever, and then it's fellas, she'll dig it too.
Well, what I love is
like, oh, girl's gonna like it. I gotta get it.
I love it when they do you'll be a stallion in the boardroom and the bedroom.
They did like those the Just for Men hair color things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I used to color my beard because it's totally different color than my hair, and it turns out I was allergic to it. So I get these rashes on my face. But those commercials were like,
ladies will love it too.
You'll have a rash on your face, but chicks will dig it too.
yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat, man.
That's funny.
Wow. So you're in town. You're doing Helium Comedy Club. We are happy to have you back here. We were just off air talking about the show, and Steve, you and Casey.
It was Living Biblically was the show. It was on CBS. It was produced by one of the members of the Big Bang Theory,
Johnny Galecki.
Yes. And I thought, and Casey thought as well, it was based on a popular book about a guy who decided to live a year of his life based on the Bible.
Like 100% according to the Bible for one calendar year. Yes.
Right. And so you were in the cast. I thought it was a really solid cast, likable ensemble, a fun show.
But it was an amazing cast. It was Cameron Manheim, Ian Gomez, Johnny, Jay Ferguson.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Good people.
I just think people weren't ready to have the Bible in their face every Monday at 9 o'clock at night. Like every episode was the Bible says, and that was the episode. The Bible says, and then the show got canceled after 13 episodes, and then CBS came right back with another show.
God liked me on Facebook. Friended me on Facebook
something like that.
or something. Yeah. It's almost the exact same show except it's a drama.
Yeah.
So
that always happens though. One show has to take the bullet so that another show can get through.
Well, let's see how this one does. It's doing well, but I thought that's got to suck because you've been in the business for a while,
right?
everything seems to be firing. You have a good slot, and CBS is known for their
CBS. Yes.
CBS.
My last sitcom was on CW. Totally different world.
Different world.
CBS, man. I'm looking forward to Super Bowl tickets. I'm like, I'm gonna be with the cast sitting there like, hey, we're on the big screen at the Super Bowl. I was looking forward to all of that. They pulled it. No Super Bowl for me.
I mean, but now you're used to obviously shows, that come and go. It's the nature of entertainment in the business.
Right, yeah.
But I would be, and I think you have every right to be, pissed, because I also think you give it a little bit more. You give it a little bit more breathing room. People forget, and you don't see it anymore these days. Seinfeld struggled for like a year and a half.
Seinfeld was like damn near canceled. And then they said, let's give it a few more weeks. And then for some reason it turned around.
It turned around.
I really think that show biblically would have been a super hit.
By the way, couldn't you port that over? Couldn't you give that a chance on perhaps, I don't know, on the Hallmark Channel or something where you maybe would find an audience?
Oh, after an all-new Touched by an Angel.
Touched by an Angel.
An all-new one. And fellas, she'll dig it too.
That should have been the same, right?
I brought Dave Chappelle on stage one night in L.A. I do a birthday show every year in L.A. at the Laugh Factory, and Dave Chappelle stopped by, just came by.
Oh, wow.
Rooms packed, and people are like, hey, the Laugh Factory has a great show going on. It's Tony's birthday, and Dave pops in. My idol, Dave
State
Chappelle.
of the art.
And I'm like, could you please go on stage? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do. And he goes on stage and goes, well, I first have to let you light his cigarette, and he takes his time. First, I have to let everybody know that I didn't even know Chris and Tony were brothers. I thought it was a horrible coincidence. And then I see you do stand-up, and I said, the kid's going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Man, that's amazing. Yeah.
Pregnant Meghan Markle's sartorial choices.
Yes.
These are clothes?
Clothing, yes.
Okay, sartorial.
It's what she likes to eat at the food court.
Oh, okay. No. Frequently give fans a double take, generally for their stunning elegance. But some are wagging their fingers at the Duchess of Sussex for the skirt that she chose to wear on the final day of her royal tour of New Zealand, Fiji, and so on.
It was a full cooter shot.
Well,
it was up above her waist.
No, it wasn't. She paired a stunning royal blue Givenchy sweater with a sheer blue pleated skirt. So there was some see-through to it.
Well, you know what? She has.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I see it. But she has had a higher than they usually like the skirts worn with members of the royal family, but nothing outlandish. Whenever she's out, but she still looks elegant,
You can see the shape of her panties.
Yes. I mean, that's a little
Does
sheer.
it matter that there are sexy photos of her on the internet to the royal family, do you think? Because, when she did Suits and she did some modeling
There's a whole
stuff,
bunch of it.
Yeah.
And Nick, she had actually just done one prior to this whole...
To meeting Prince Harry?
Yes, and it's excellent.
And the whole family received a portfolio of all of this stuff and said, here's what we're dealing with.
She's a beautiful woman.
If you need me, I'm going to be reviewing these photographs in my chamber.
How long is that going to take?
Wappa.
Fwap, fwap. That's it.
The fappening.
Wappa, wappa.
By the
That's the royal family version of fap.
Why does this all have to rest on her shoulders? Like, why doesn't she have people looking at her going, yo, dude, I can see your panties?
But she makes the final choice.
Yo, dude, I can see your panties.
By the way, Shake Shack,
yep,
love their burgers, but I might as well eat them while I'm sitting on the toilet because that's how quickly they go through me.
Just for some particular reason?
Yeah.
Do you get the special sauce?
Dude, so...
He makes the special sauce.
I literally ate it one time, and I was driving home. I ate it by Helium. There's one right there.
Oh, no.
And I ate it.
Oh, no.
And I had to race... Oh my God! I'm trying to get home. I was trying to get home.
Yeah.
And it was late. It was probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I can make it.
And by the time I got to about Route 1 on 76, I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it. So let me get to the radio station. Quick.
Oh.
Stat, right?
Yeah.
Got to the radio station. Couldn't make it to the fourth floor. I had to dump by outside next to the...
Dude, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you take a dump?
You crapped outside of the building?
I had to.
How long ago was this?
This morning.
God.
Kathy,
I
it was either that or in my pants. What do I do?
Sometimes I don't know.
Right? So I had to do it next to the.
Couldn't you at least pick a competing station?
Yeah. Well, no.
I mean,
Because
and also just so old to tell the
George
story.
Washington. That belongs to Elvis and
man.
Rocky.
That's right.
All right, 215-263 WMMR. Gene Simmons does a killer impression of which founding father? If you were listening and you know the answer to that, you need to call right now. 215-263 WMMR. And while you're calling, we will do the trash.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Garden State Home Loans, your local mortgage lender. Check them out today at GardenStateLoans.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt just announced that they're expecting their second child together. The news comes just as we wrapped up 4 years of praying for the first child. So there you go.
Oh, my God.
The jurors in the Johnny Depp defamation trial unanimously decided in his favor yesterday. Depp called it a great day for justice, while a spokesman for Heard said the judgment sends a chilling message to anyone who enjoys crapping in bed.
Hey!
And finally, Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry confirming that they're in town for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this week in London. Prince Harry admits things are still tense between the couple and the royal family, which is why they had to get their tickets on StubHub.
Oh,
that's
man.
kind of sad.
Yeah.
And that's your Hollywood trash.
All right, thank you, Steve. We'll see if indeed someone does know the answer to this. Gene Simmons had no idea.
No idea.
He does a killer impression of which founding father? 215-263 WMMR, the number, and it is Matthew who is first in, so we're going to go to him. Hey, Matthew, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. All right, Matthew, Gene Simmons does an impression of what founding father?
Thomas Jefferson?
That is correct.
It's amazing.
Yep. All right, Matthew, hang on the line. You just got yourself some tickets to see Coldplay, Music of the Spheres World Tour, June 8th at Lincoln Financial Field. Some tickets remain at Ticketmaster, and there are complete details available at WMMR.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by Rita's Water Ice. You can escape to the tropics. Head to Rita's and try the new tropical Paradise Ice.
That sounds cool.
That's the name of the flavor. All right, just two stories to pass along. So I mentioned this yesterday. This is a follow-up. Wolfgang Van Halen took to Twitter to trash this weekend's Reels Channel autopsy episode focusing on Eddie Van Halen's death. Autopsy, The Last Hours of Eddie Van Halen, will premiere on Sunday, June 5th at 8 p.m. Van Halen died October 6, 2020 at the age of 65. He had battled throat cancer, of course. And Wolfgang linked to an article reporting on the show and tweeted, F Reels Channel, F everyone that works on this show, and F you if you watch it. Effing disgusting trying to glamorize someone's death from cancer. Pathetic and heartless.
So he doesn't seem to like it.
I think he's coming out against it.
Right.
It did seem a bit strange hearing that.
Well, absolutely. There's, it's barely. Are they trying to create a conspiracy or?
I don't know.
That's usually not the way they do these things.
The way that the description was worded said something along the lines of, in so many words, did he have to die at the age he did?
Right.
Meaning he could have taken better care of himself. Isn't that true of pretty much
about
all
everybody?
of us?
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth doing. But being the caretaker of his father's legacy is something that Wolfgang Van Halen takes extremely seriously.
President Kennedy didn't need to die if he just didn't travel to Dallas.
Not too long ago, he said that fans shouldn't bank on seeing any Eddie Van Halen tribute projects emerging from the vast tape archive that he left behind. So he said it's not going to happen for a long time, even without the intention of release. I want to, at the very least, archive it properly and digitize it so everything is safe for years to come.
Right.
Because it's going to be an incredibly difficult process and a very long process to properly just get the material off the old tapes, and I want to do it right. So, and he's very, he and his dad were really close. So he takes all that stuff very, very personal, and so he should. And then finally, the only other story I have, Nikki Sixx took to social media explaining why the band will not be allowing fans backstage on the upcoming stadium tour for meet and greets with Motley Crue. He tweeted to fans, it's been exhausting trying to explain to people why we can't have guests backstage. Our fans have waited almost 3 years for this tour. If one of us got COVID and had to cancel the show, can you imagine the disappointment? So we're not here to take effing selfies. This is for the fans, he said. And I totally get it, man. I mean, the people are getting sick like crazy. It's not quite a death sentence as it was a couple of years ago, but still, you can get really, really sick and get other people sick,
and screw
so
up the
they're not
tour.
going to do it. Yeah, so
You know what you could do? And I mean, you could set up like a monitor or something, and people could come and take a picture. I don't know if that's worth
Set up
anything.
a monitor.
Yeah, you know?
The stadium tour features the Crew, co-headliners Def Leppard, along with Poison, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and that kicks off on June 16th, by the way. That will be at Atlanta's SunTrust Park, and of course, it's part of our Word of the Week prize this week, that we're giving away for the show June 25th, which will be here in
I
Philadelphia.
think that includes a VIP meet and greet.
Oh, it does. We're lucky because we got that.
Make sure you sneeze on it when you get there.
All right, that's all I have in music news. A short one today. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a second. Get ready to wrap up the program. Letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize that I just mentioned. So we'll be back in a sec. Hang in there.
Preston and Steve.
Security footage was deleted, you know?
Hey, more FM's right over there.
Right. Q102 is right down the street.
Q102 is down the street. Crap there.
Oh, my God.
The story does get a little bit better.
That's funny.
How?
How could it?
How? But could you have imagined had he been stopped at another radio station simply because it was an emergency?
Yes.
Right.
Local broadcaster in a clear attempt.
Like a superintendent of a school.
Right, exactly.
Right?
He would have been raised to heroic levels here.
Now, how does the story get better?
Oh, man. I think I'm just going to end it there.
Well, no. You started down the path.
Just say it quietly so we can't hear.
All right, I'll just whisper it.
They're not listening.
Yeah.
So I had to
smeared it on someone's car.
I had to leave it there in the grass.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it with me.
Right.
Oh, you didn't want to take it with you?
No. I couldn't. So what ended
Take
up.
your dog for a walk.
So,
I left it there.
all right. So a little bit did end up in my underpants. So I had.
That was just like a bingo.
So I had to luckily I had, nobody can hear this, right?
Right, no, we're good.
So luckily I had all these T-shirts in the back of my car.
Did you fashion a makeshift underwear?
I literally wore a pink T-shirt as underwear on the drive home. Oh, no. It gets better. Okay. So then I'm on my way home and I'm thinking, there is like T-shirts and poop and all this stuff next to the building. All right. So I can't, like, if security goes and they see that on Monday, they're going to go, well, who pooped here?
And look at security.
They're going to look at security and they're going to see me, like, all ashamed, crouching next to my car. So on Monday, I came back to work with a giant trash bag and I had to, like, collect it all.
Oh, my God.
And then throw it in the dumpster.
So he cleaned his spot.
Yeah, I cleaned my spot.
hate you.
I hate me too, Kathy. When I got home,
And this was all because of what?
freaking Shake
Guys.
Shack.
Oh, Shake Shack.
No, not Five Guys. Don't you? talk
They're
bad about-
fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
Where in the building was it? Did this-
On the over
By
at
the loading docks. Well, you unloaded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
had to go. What's that?
Why didn't you come inside?
He couldn't get
I
in.
couldn't make it. I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I do. Believe me. I'm
I
not.
don't.
This is not a proud moment here, Kathy.
Yeah.
Though you would assume it could have been a proud moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you came back, and that's noble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily noble. It was self-preservation.
The last thing you wanted is that footage to end up. But what's worse, the footage of you doing it or the footage of you collecting it back up in the bag?
They watched both and they were like, okay,
Yeah,
well, he came back and cleaned.
You know, we'll erase this.
All right, so you should eat your hamburger upside down.
on the toilet.
That's what we got.
That's all I noticed. I didn't. There's
That's
it. I can't top that.
No, it ends there.
I will not be able
like
to.
a derailing train.
Right.
So nobody heard that, right?
Nobody heard that. People magazine is named its 2018 sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
And it is Idris Elba.
Kathy?
The British actor says the honor has given him a boost of self-confidence.
What do you think? Do you are you an Idris Elba fan?
Pull up a picture.
Okay. You don't remember?
You don't know what he looks like?
No, I do, but like, let me just look at.
Let her drink him in.
Yeah, I don't like. Is that the picture they use?
Let her take a sip of that chocolate.
Yeah,
milk.
that's from people.com.
I don't love the picture that they use. I wish they used a different picture, but yeah, no, he's good looking for sure.
He was surprised after being crowned this year's winner. I was like, come on, no way, really? He told the magazine.
You guys.
He said, look. Here, there's the cover picture.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like Lovey.
Well, like Lovey from Gilligan's Island?
No, like not where you would look at some of them and be like, oh my God, he's so hot. Like this guy's like, he probably would give you a good hug.
Part of it is his voice and his demeanor. He is planning a wedding with his fiancee Sabrina Dahor. No.
Yeah, well, I don't
Sabrina
know.
Dahor?
Dower.
Dahore?
Dahore.
Oh, you mean Dahor?
Dahor. It's all the same letters.
Who are you marrying? Sabrina. Oh, Dahor?
Dhowre.
No, not Dahor.
If you move the W to the beginning or in between the D and H, it looks like Dahor.
No, it's Dahor.
Dahor. Dahore.
No.
Anyhow, the actor has
I'm not marrying a whore.
16-year-old daughter named Isan and a 4-year-old son named Winston. What a great name.
Yeah, I almost
like
named my
that.
dog Winston.
From previous
Let him know.
relationships. Elba told people about his upbringing.
Yes, Idris. My name is Casey. I produce a show in the States. I almost named my dog Winston.
When you said let him know, I thought you were talking about let my dog know.
I did too. Come here, buddy.
Come here.
You're almost Winston.
Reggie, I almost named
Dog, I don't understand what you're saying.
We began Wigapalooza.
I'm very excited.
If you just tuned in, we talked about this a while back. What would Steve look like with a head of realistic human hair and not goofy looking wigs? Actual hair. We want to see what Steve would look like with a realistic looking hairstyle.
These wigs are usually fitted to people's heads, so Steve's got a bigger head. I actually thought his head was a little bit smaller than that.
Should we bring him in?
Yes.
All right, let's have Steve come in and see what the actual. Wow! Dude, oh my God!
You haven't seen it?
Kathy's got to have a mirror.
Get the big mirror from the office.
Steve, you look better bald, man.
Casey, that does look good. You fixed the sides.
Yeah.
Do you know whose hair I immediately think of for some reason? Because
Oh, Jesus Christ.
he looks like Danny Briere's hair for some reason.
Wow,
Am I not wrong about that?
That's
Danny
absolutely
Briere,
right.
formerly of the Flyers.
No,
What? Who are you thinking of? Here, move your microphone over, Steve. So I can...
from bachelor party and
Adrian
Zmed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, how
It's
come
the
no
profile
sideburn?
that I love.
I guess you have to. Well, I look like a '60s pop star. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow.
This is one that's for the ladies.
Yeah.
It's what you call a panty dropper in the biz.
Yeah, Steve, we need a voice with that
That's right,
wig.
yeah.
What is that the voice?
I need
you
it.
think,
Yeah,
or-
I think that's kind of the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
or kind of the voice.
The back looks good too, like
Does
the
the back look
neckline.
good?
Yeah, the neckline.
Yeah, the back looks real.
Am I making you wet, baby?
Looks totally real. Somebody says you look like Paul McCartney. Yeah.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says Phil Mickelson or Ralph Macchio.
Well, a little Ralph Macchio.
A little bit.
The Karate Kid on Hard Times.
And by the way, you'll need.
Hey, Mr. Miyagi, how are you?
You'll need.
What the hell happened?
There you go. Yes, Steve's doing the dance moves. And we'll put.
I could walk you home.
Makes me feel fine. Oh, Steve. The hair. Oh my God.
Summer breeze. Nice.
Makes me feel fine. Oh, you've got to watch the webcam. Steve is singing directly to you.
I thought that was beautiful, actually. I have to go pleasure myself. I'm so turned on.
All right, well, let's bring him in and see what we have next. Let's have Steve. He's been out of the studio when he gets... Okay. The color is better on this.
Yes.
I think you like...
I like the dark.
Hey, I'll help.
You look like a stock boy a little
Right,
bit.
yeah. I'll get that for you, Mr. Jones. What do you want me to do with the canoe?
Just put it in the back. Put it in the back.
I'll move that around for you, Mr. Jones. Hey, can I take lunch now?
Every wig has to have a voice.
Right, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Wow.
My name's Toby. This is a Toby, right?
Yeah, that's a Toby.
Yeah.
Toby.
Is that what it's called?
Toby.
Is that what it's called? Seriously?
No. It's the Toby. I don't know. Yeah. It intermatches with the Kunta Kinte.
Well, what was the last one? What should that have been? That was the Danny?
The Danny or the Ricky.
The Ricky.
I like the Ricky.
That was Ricky. With a song for you.
No,
It's Toby.
Toby. Hey,
Yeah.
Toby.
Hey, you need any yard work? You need help done? I'll do it. I'm 17.
Should we do a new wig next?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, we only have
an wig.
We only have two more left. Let's bring him in. Let's see Steve's third wig of the morning. Wow, man.
It is the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, and that's real hair. What's that?
A little bit of gray.
Just a little salt and pepper in there.
Yeah.
That looks good.
I think he looks like
I think I'm ready for the boardroom and the bedroom.
I think Richard Gere, maybe.
She said she gave me three options: Richard Gere, Regis Philbin, and Eddie Munster.
What?
With the three hairstyles.
Well, the one style we had going at first, he looked a little like Eddie Munster.
It's all sewn
Do I
in.
look like in the Cialis commercial? I say the man with the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do look like the man with the plan.
Yeah, I putting some more wind in my sails with Cialis.
Oh, is this the voice?
Yeah.
What's
Kids, we're gonna go mountain climbing and rappelling. And I can get aroused too.
What's a good name for this hair? First thing that comes to your mind.
Chet.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Chet Wainwright.
All right.
Dr. Chet Wainwright?
Dr. Chet Wainwright.
PhD.
Yeah.
What are you, a doctor?
Not DDS?
Gynecologist.
Of course. It
The
wouldn't be
ladies
anything
are
else.
stacked too deep
All
out
right,
there.
now put the headphones on, and we'll see if this because
Radio chat.
Steve doesn't have sideburns.
I have
and
no
so that's the
sideburns,
one thing
no
that looks a little
eyebrows.
odd.
What happened was that they extracted me from the pod in the Matrix too quickly, and I hadn't fully formed.
I like this the
Put your
best.
headphones on.
All right.
Let's see how this looks.
I have hair over my ears, which is weird.
That looks real,
Let me see.
Steve.
Look at me. Can you look at me?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Wait. Call.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry.
Inspired him to go come out and play right after that. So you never know where those moments of inspiration come from. All right, 10:34 on this Thursday morning. We are wrapping up our program for the day, and I would like to thank Mr. Larry Kaplan for being on today. The annual CF Charities Supercar Show is Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. It is this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can go to cfcharities.org to get tickets. It's only $5 online. And by the way, by Supercar Show, I mean like supercars, like badass, the ultimate high horsepower, just monster vehicles are going to be there.
This isn't the car your neighbor works on in the driveway. This is like heavy duty stuff.
And Larry just set the record for driving the fastest car in the world.
Yeah.
He got up to 295 miles an hour.
On City Line Avenue.
No, it was on City Line Avenue. It was at the Kennedy Space Center, and it was essentially a production vehicle.
Yes.
I forgot which one it was, but unreal. So he's the real deal, and cars like that are going to be. It's the SSC Tatara is the name of that vehicle.
Can you imagine how much that goes for?
So he's going to have stuff like that, over 500 vehicles. So really cool event, really cool charity, and nice to talk to him this morning. We need to do the letter of the day. I've been told what the letter will be.
Oh.
So I Very rare occasion, get to give you the letter of the day.
That is fantastic.
So here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, and the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter V. Almost messed it up. V as in vestibule. All right, so we now have 3 letters. It's only a 4-letter word this week. We get the last one tomorrow, and we give away a summer concert triple play at Citizens Bank Park. A pair of tickets to each of these shows. So you have Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett, June 25th, Dead and Company on July 10th, and Red Hot Chili Peppers on September 3rd. Tickets are on sale now for each via Ticketmaster, and you can go to WMMR.com and get the complete details there. Other than that, yeah, that's it. I'm just going to thank our sponsors.
That's all you need to do.
Scoot along. So, Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by Acme Markets, Fresh Foods, Local Flavors. Also brought to you by Dunkin', the official coffee of the Preston and Steve Show. And by Polar Seltzer, no sugar, calories, or funny business. Refreshingly natural Polar Seltzer. On tomorrow's program, it will be Friday, so obviously we give away our Word of the Week prize, and we'll do all our Friday-related things.
It's a 4-day week.
On a Friday, which is a wonderful thing. Yep, that's it. We are done, so rage on and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.